Hello.
Hello, you beautiful people.
How are you? So, we
have a show for you.
do we have it? That's true. Do you remember the VeggieTales? Did you ever see that? Have we got a show for you?
Oh, is that what the VeggieTales used to say?
Yep. Then it starts singing VeggieTales.
You know, when I first met
What's up, Adam?
Yeah. And I was like asking you like, what are you into and all that, and you said something about VeggieTales. It was like literally the first week I'd ever met you in my life. It was at that first Bible study.
I didn't really know what to say because
you said something about VeggieTales.
You couldn't watch anything.
And I was like, oh my God. This girl is dead ass serious. She's talking about the VeggieTales.
We couldn't watch anything. Even the VeggieTales was actually banned from the college I was at.
Maine is worse than I thought. All right.
The answer, Alan, is don't.
I always thought the answer was 42, but apparently it's don't. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
He said the question, to sleep or not to sleep? That's the question. Okay.
Is that ever really a question? Is our DJ, Tina, in the house? Is our DJ in the house?
Mm-hmm. What's up, Mark?
Why do you keep asking why people are enamored by hierarchy? This is like the 9th time I've heard you ask that question.
Who?
I think it's AT. I think, I don't know if people are enamored with hierarchy. I just think that hierarchy is just a natural, I think it's a natural principle.
Mark, sorry we are an hour late here.
Is this Mark?
Yep. But we're here now.
We are here now, and we are about, wait. I need, good evening, Dropkick. I need the
symbol for the corner.
The symbol for the corner.
Yep.
Is it the same one?
It's the Cult of Luna symbol.
Oh, it's the Cult of Luna.
Right.
This one.
No, it's that one. Click on that one.
I see. Okay, I see where you're going. Talk to the people. It
should reset. There it is.
Give people. So this is the Cult of Luna symbol.
Sleep is overrated, especially in the night.
Is this a Cult of Luna symbol right there? I see what you did.
Alan said he asked again because you didn't give a good enough answer.
I guess part of my problem is
that's right, Middle Earth.
I'm not certain what you mean by enamored. Maybe if you use a different word other than enamored, I might be able to understand it. Okay. Are we locked down for next Thursday?
Yeah, I think so.
What time?
What's the date? 9 p.m. September 23rd. Overshadow. Yeah, we're locked down.
Okay.
All right.
Excellent day. Are you guys ready?
I didn't eat all day, so I'm eating now. Poor timing, I know.
We'll just wait. Patriots, Lions. Waste of a game.
Good?
Hierarchy is a sacred order, a state of understanding and activity approximately as closely as possible to the divine. Dionysius, the Areopagite. That'd be the Areopagus, right?
I guess.
That probably meant that he just chilled out at the Areopagus the entire time.
Could be.
He's like an arguer. All right. Are we? Oh, that's right. We're waiting.
No, we can start.
No, we're not going to do a song review when you got...
I was just going to push it to the side.
Don't worry about it. Go ahead. Just finish your food.
Are you going to answer questions?
Yeah.
With the people?
Yeah. Who's Orion's protector, by the way? It's an interesting name. Talk. Adam needs to eat dinner and won't. Johnny Melancholy in the house. What's up? I suppose it would be desire to belong, being thinking about the concept theory opposite, by the way, about the concept theory opposite. Oh, I don't know what I am reading from you, Alan Thompson. Let me just isolate what he's saying. Why are people enamored by her? Never got an answer. Stuck in or trapped, easily tricked by or sold into the system, so to speak. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, Alan, I think my answer is going to be rather pedestrian. I think hierarchy is unavoidable. I don't believe that a pure anarchy. I think pure anarchy is just idealism, but it doesn't take into account. Let me say it this way: as far as what I can tell of anarchy or anything opposite to any sort of hierarchical structure, to me, that's just the way that God ordered the universe. It's just natural. It happens naturally, and even when I talk to anarchists, there's still some sort of authority structure, whether or not it's federalized or codified into law. In my mind, it just appears that no matter what group you're in, somebody's always going to, or a group of folks are always going to emerge as the leader or the director or whatever. So I'm not sure that hierarchy is the problem. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say hierarchy is not the problem, and I'm just going to say that the reason we have a problem with hierarchy is because the people at the top who have that power use that power for their own self-interest. They don't use it for the people that are beneath them. I don't think anybody would even be thinking about sloughing off hierarchy or whatever if we had benevolent leaders that used their power and authority for the good of the people that they were leading. So that's my understanding of it. I think a non and again, it's interesting because personality wise, I'm more disposed towards an anarchist perspective than a hierarchical perspective, and it's interesting because normally speaking, it doesn't matter what I do. Anytime I float into groups, I end up being the leader, and so it kind of sours you to hierarchy. Actually, if you always get pushed into being the leader, when you're not the leader, people think it's this glamorous thing. Everybody follows you. Everybody's on your at your beck and call, whatever. But at the same time, people are making these massive decisions about their life based on your opinion. And that's a pretty heavy burden. And then when the shit doesn't work out the way they want it to, guess whose heads they're coming for? So I hate hierarchy to a degree, and I would much rather function. I think there's a difference between anarchy and chaos, though. That's the other thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
What's up, E-Fog? Everyone is a fan. Everything I touch turns to gold.
Can you hear this guy?
Yeah. We'll see tonight if Light Bearer's genre, post-metal atmospheric sludge, is that good, or whether or not it will overcome black metal for you, or if Light Bearer is the Michael Jordan. That was a very well-constructed sentence. Very good metaphors. The man was speaking my language. Song 1 is coming up. Ben Webb is entertaining, and his political takes are amazing, and he needs to start a channel. But there's that. You know, I might say we might do a Web week after Ben Webb's 5th video on his channel. We might have to meet in the middle. Sit tight for the commercial, you beautiful people. Vin,
I'm sorry.
if you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
Ah!
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
They do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch.
Shout out to the big home at Amy Lee Forever. What's good, homie?
Hello.
The time is arriving. Everybody hit the like button. That's right.
Yeah, if you don't hit the like button, we're going to pause the show.
Yeah, we might start doing that shit. We're going to cancel the show on you bitches until we see enough likes. How many likes is on there?
I don't know.
We listen to this guy, and that's what he does. He holds his folks hostage unless they.
Yep. He puts on some music.
Yep.
And pulls out, so nobody gets to see any more of the show until they get the likes. Up.
Yep. All right. Speaking of likes, Sean was the first like. Shout out to Tina. Shout out to Sean. Speaking of the first like.
All right, we are beginning another DJ stream.
Yes, sir,
One of our
Robert.
favorite types
Yes, sir,
is the DJ
Robert.
streams. And tonight we have DJ
Mark in the house.
You need to put that on the bottom.
Don't worry. Continue.
Shout out to DJ Mark. The first song on our list is Isis, Divine Mother.
Isis Divine Mother.
Yeah.
That's interesting because we just got out of an escape room that had a...
Oh, okay, so this is what he said. So I left you guys off with a whole Lightbearer album. In the reviews, you were wondering if it was just this genre, post-metal, aka atmospheric sludge, or if you were dealing with the best of that genre. I say, let's find out. I give you my post-metal DJ playlist and a different band for each song to give you a good spectrum in the genre. In the end, I want you to answer the question, does post-metal overcome black metal for you?
Okay,
So the first one is Isis, Divine Mother.
Put that up as a poll.
He said, you have done quite a few reviews of this band already. They are considered quintessential post-metal, the golden standard. I noticed, interestingly, every time you did a song by them, your scores increased every time.
Gotta make sure we give it a low score this time.
Starting as low as 6/7 range, quickly their songs reached the 9 to 10 range. I think the style may have grown on you guys. Mark, I like your comments. These are fun.
Mark might have single-handedly converted us to that genre. We'll see.
He might have.
See. Steve Toto in the house. I know ISIS is a deity, but every time I hear ISIS out loud, I swear my brain's like ISIS, dirty terrorists. Yeah, I agree. I feel the same way.
I only think of that. I never thought of a deity. I always think of...
All right. The time has arrived. The time has arrived, dear listener. The time has arrived. Song number 1, Divine Mother. Let's go. This is from the band ISIS, right?
Yep.
Whoa. Oh, yes. I feel evil. man. Oh, wow. Wow, opening up, bro. This song is kind of like the way that he described our relationship with this band. Steve Derrera in the house.
What's up, buddy?
Steve Derrera. Steve, listen, bro. When you texted me, I was in the middle of something. So I didn't have the time. So, you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I'm sure if you were in my position, you would have done the same. All right.
Well,
okay. So the name of this song was the name of the band was Isis. I forgot the name of the song.
Divine Mother.
The Divine Mother.
No, just Divine Mother.
Divine Mother, which I'm assuming the Divine Mother, to which he goes, which time? All of them? These people swear I don't respond to people in text. They're such liars.
I know.
Let me. I might put a screenshot up on this page.
I know that it's not. I know it's not true because that person. I see the messages going back and forth.
Holy shit!
What?
Yeah, he's right. I haven't responded to him at all. Look at this shit. He told me about Joe. You know what happened is I don't have his name on my thing.
You should update that.
He must have got a different
Divine
number.
Mother, the Tower Crumbles, is the full name of it.
Yeah, it looks like it's sounds like it's concept-y kind of. It was cool because we just got out of Egypt in the escape room we were in. Mm-hmm. They did a really, really good job.
They really did. It was fun.
They did a really good job. I think
I kicked some massive ass while I was in there. I still have to say that.
What did you say?
I said I kicked some massive ass when I was in there.
Yeah, Soraya was running the shop.
I was on fire in there.
I was just kind of asking permission to live in Sori's world. At that point, but
I still got petty though. I'm trying to work on my pettiness when we're in those rooms.
It's a joy. It's a joy to see. Okay.
The Divine Mother stumbles. So when it said that, I actually thought we were talking about Mother Earth, cancer wrapped around her heart. I was thinking like, all the stuff that's in the water and.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, somebody told me.
I think he's talking about the literal.
I don't think that's what it was at all. After.
I think he was talking about the literal ISIS. But go ahead.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The Divine Mother stumbles? Oh, you mean the god Isis.
The goddess.
Yeah,
Isis.
the goddess. Okay. Just a little tip in case your place is changing and you're going to have to purchase your bags when you go. Some lady at the store, I'm going to use our Sorry Secret shirt as an example, but you'll get the idea. So you take the shirt and apparently you cut the neck and then you cut both the sleeves off and then on the bottom, you just cut it into little strips and then tie the little strips. It'll make a whole bottom and then you open it up and it's an entire bag, if that makes sense to you. Maybe I'll shoot a video so people can. But anyway, that's what you can do so you can not give Mother Earth more cancer. But that's not what we're talking about here. So you think we're talking about the goddess.
They're talking literally.
Thank you, Zombie Holic.
Did Zombie Holic send us a video, inshallah?
I don't check that email. I only check the Sorry Secret one. So that would be yours. Speaking of surprises, though, Matt had his baby.
He did?
Yeah, the little peanuts over here. I'll show you later. 4 pounds, 8 ounces.
Matt Brady?
Tiny. Yeah. And that's right. We can say his last name. Yeah. So anyway.
They were preggo? His daughter, you mean?
No. Okay, we'll talk about this later. I thought you were up on the times, but apparently not.
There's a whole
It's
world
a super
inside.
cool story, though, but it's not mine to share with the channel. I'll tell Vinny about it later. Okay. I don't know anything about the goddess Isis.
Okay,
to be honest with you.
So she was married. She was married to her half brother, I think.
Okay.
She was one of the gods. She was one of the gods of Egypt. One of the goddesses of Egypt. Very, very powerful one.
Okay.
So when it says she had the eye of Horus, I believe, right there. You see right there, it says the eyes of gods kept. She has the eye of Horus, and the eye of Horus is supposed to be like good luck, charm, power, prosperity, that type of thing. It was really interesting though because AT was saying something like it'll be interesting to see how religion evolves with us. He said, and it's interesting because I'm on this. It's actually a pretty scholarly article. Actually, it was written in 2019. The Eye of Horus: The Connection Between Art, Medicine, and Mythology in Ancient Egypt.
Okay.
And he's talking about how
we saw that symbol.
Yeah, that's it's a very famous symbol. It's the Eye of Horus, but it's got 6 parts to it, and apparently there's a correlation between the Eye of Horus and the human brain itself.
What?
Which is massively interesting, considering all the things that we've been researching recently on Mr. Hoffman and Mr. Jung, talking about certain thingamajiggies. So,
okay.
so they've, and this is kind of like I actually saw this initially on the Discovery Channel, and I was like, oh, that's so dumb, because Discovery Channel has ancient aliens and all that crazy shit, but. This is an actual legit scholarly article. Okay, so you see here's the Eye of Horus here, and he's breaking down all the 6 parts to it, right? And then if you go here, you put the brain up there, okay? And so what he's saying is, you see that right there, the little loopy thingamajiggy and all that, and the little
So the
stem.
circles are different. One's an oval and one's a circle.
Yeah, I mean, they're not like perfect, but like if you look...
slide this over.
If you look here,
this one's like an oval, and the other one is a circle, and the brains.
Yeah. Now it might be incidental, it might not be, but the Egyptians, there's always like a suspect when you see the Egyptians and all the shit they do, because it's like, I don't know, maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it's not, who knows? It looks like maybe he's talking about a guy who, how sometimes you have these people that'll raid the tombs of these people. So it says, infect fingers pry open the clearest cages. Sickness has been made.
Well, remember...
So maybe it was a tomb robber or something like that.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
you remember... and maybe it's not even real, but... Oh, it was in Tomb Raiders. Was it Tomb Raiders? Remember that guy that was like... He was like running from the big ball that was rolling after him. It's like a very... Everybody knows about it. What's that?
That's not Tomb Raider. That's
no, it's not.
It's
help us. Oh, I want to know that. I want to say it before you.
It's a guy.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once I said it was a guy.
I knew it was a guy. Please. Anyway, so Indiana Jones. Remember there was like one where they open up something. Actually, I think it was the Ark of the Covenant, but.
Yeah.
Is there a time where when something's been opened, it has released any sort of diseases that have gotten people ill?
Well, there's all this mythology around the tombs.
Because of this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you open up the tomb and there's some curse because you're grave robbing, you're tomb robbing, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like father and son stoke fire, sister's tears protect, there is no fear, the eyes of God kept. Measures have been taken, wipe clean my face, whip clear my heart. Death must seem so distant that reach has not reached me. It looks like this is like a tomb robber, and he's going into the tomb of Isis. Well, Isis was a goddess; she wouldn't be buried per se, but it just looks like this is a guy who's excavating and he's opening something up that he doesn't realize, which is a typical literary motif when you start working with Egypt. Is like you start going into the tombs and shit and robbing, then there's going to be this big curse or whatever. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Would you? Okay, do you think it's morally wrong to rob a tomb?
Do I think it's morally wrong to rob a tomb?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's morally wrong to rob a tomb.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, let me think about that.
You should get rid of that other thing that came up.
We're letting the mods do that.
Oh, okay.
But
so do you think it's morally wrong?
What's happening here?
I think I must have. Yeah,
Okay, we're coming back. It's still going. We're still going.
We're still fine.
Okay. So it just our stream just got either that person that came in with the spam or whatever. But anyway, let's get back to the review. Do I think tomb robbing is wrong?
Yeah.
That's a very interesting question.
Yeah, I'm actually even more interested because you're taking pause. Usually Vin has quick answers because he's already thought shit through.
I think it depends on the circumstance. So, for example, if Egypt was in some horrible situation where they were going to, like, starve to death or something like that, and the only thing they had left was relics, and we would buy it and say, okay, we'll give you $1 billion for all your relics, which would be highway robbery. From that perspective, I'd say that's a good thing that Egypt would do that, and then I would tell us we should sell all those artifacts back. I just think I think that all those artifacts belong to those people as a whole. Because the vast majority of those artifacts are, interestingly enough, for the 1% of Egypt at the time.
Yeah.
So it's only that are getting all this,
Right.
So from that perspective, you guys know me. I have very little pity for rich people, especially
That's
after
true. You could almost say they stole from the people.
Well, yeah, they generated, but the issue is it's not like I don't know, but I don't get the feeling that like there's a royal family that could trace themselves back 4,000 years ago and say all that shit belongs to us. Mm-hmm. It seems to me that the Egyptian government basically has jurisdiction over it and they can determine what they do with it. And as long as they're doing it, as long as they're using that for the good of the people, then I don't care what they do with it. So from that vantage point, I don't know much about archaeology. All I have in my head is Indiana Jones. All I have is Europeans coming over to Africa, going in there, taking shit and leaving. That, obviously, I'm against. But, I think it belongs to the Egyptian people. And when I say people, I mean the people. The government's job is to superintend it, make sure that we... And honestly, by extension, it belongs to all of us by way of Egypt, right? Because it talks about it, definitely my ancestors and all the rest of it. So I think it's something that everybody should have access to a degree. So from that vantage point, I will then go back and say, yeah, I think tomb robbing or tomb raiding or whatever it is actually probably a bad practice. Now that I've thought about it.
You mean for an individual to raid a tomb?
An individual, a country, whatever. I think it should belong exclusively to the Egyptian people, and whatever financial remunerations should be distributed among them.
Right. So if an Egyptian tomb raider went in there and raided the tombs, you would say it's still wrong because he's taking it from... He or she is taking it from everyone else.
Correct.
Yeah,
this is really interesting. We had a similar situation last time. People kept getting kicked off the stream. This is the second time in a row it's happened. And I'm not getting...
Do you think it's because of your restream thing? We can chat about that after. Let's finish the review first, right?
Go ahead, keep talking.
Okay. Lost half the viewers. Somebody said, oh no. Oh yeah, there's only one person watching.
Just go ahead.
Just keep... Okay. Well, I actually don't really have a whole lot of that to say about it. So, yeah. So, father and son's stoic fire. Sister's tears protect. There is no fear. The eyes of God kept.
Yeah.
Rip clear my heart. Why does he keep saying clear? Was this like another language? I don't understand why clear.
Maybe he's saying that because of the dirt, the excavations.
Infect fingers pry open the clearest cages.
Yeah. So if he's a tomb raider, then he's gonna have dirt and all the rest of it. So he's gonna want to be clean at some point. See what I'm saying?
Wipe clean my face. Rip clear my heart.
Yep.
What do you mean rip clear my heart? Who's talking? ISIS?
No, I think that this is some tomb raider guy.
Oh.
He's excavating, he's digging stuff in, and he's just describing what he's seeing. And he's playing it's a play on words because he's in the dirt. So wipe clean my face, rip clear my heart. So it's talking about that. That's what it looks like to me.
Look at this. Death must seem so distant. That reach has not reached me. Mm-hmm. Isn't that a crazy line?
What do you got? What do you give it? It's a very, very, very interesting song.
So yeah, this one it kept increasing. It started with a 6, and then it was like 6.2, 6.7. It ended up being an 8.2 for me.
An 8.2? What about the end?
Oh yeah, actually, that you're right.
When it really, really opened up, what the hell is wrong with you?
I put 8.2, and then the end started, and I stopped
All right, I'm putting applications out. I'm putting applications out for a new partner.
They won't treat you as good as me.
Has to be you have to be an 11. You have to be an 11. Okay. Oh. Anything under.
I thought you were saying giving the song an 11.
Anything under an 11, don't even apply. Okay. What's up, Vlad? Shout out to the big homie Vlad in his house.
So what do you think?
I'm going to give this song a 8.9. I don't know. I really like the way that it opened up. 9.2. All right. It's a 9.2 for me. What do you give it?
The same score.
What'd you give it?
I already gave it a 9.2.
Did you really?
I did.
There you are, dear listener. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
Wait, you're just leaving me hanging here. How mean.
Boop. Boop.
All right.
Doesn't 11 just mean spiritual? No, it means hot. 11 means hot. 11 on a scale of 0 to 100. No! 11 on a scale from 1 to 10. Hating ass people. We now have more likes than we have viewers because we keep getting kicked out. All right, guys, we're coming on a brand new one. Give me a second. We got the commercial.
Do you have to figure out what happened?
Already in progress, huh?
Do you have to figure out what happened?
Do I have to figure out with what?
Why?
What do you mean,
why people all got kicked out?
I have my ideas.
Okay. Oh.
Newest issue of Biblical Archaeology Review has a giant skull. Crazy insane. Interesting. Don't worry about it, Mark. Don't worry about it, Mark. It'll say this, right? It'll be like 16 viewers, and then, I'll go and check on the thingamajiggy, and it's at like 1,000 views or whatever.
We don't care how many viewers there are, honestly. It's more just, I don't want people getting kicked off. I'm not good with that.
I don't like people getting kicked off, and as long as we can, like, if you bought the review and you can stick with it, then I'm happy. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that kind of concerns me with these is the person who got the review.
Rip, but that's not my problem.
Other than that, we're in good shape.
The thing is, he's the one that has your phone number, so he's...
I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
Rubbish. That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft. Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, indeed.
Yes, do that.
The child shall lead them.
Okay, next song on our list. We're in the middle of a DJ stream for the big homie Mark.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is his full name on there?
It's Mark Decken, right?
Okay, I didn't know if it was on there, so I didn't want to dox anyone. Okay, so Mark Decken has picked the next song to be The Ocean, Stinian. And the comment that he put under it is, "This is a band I am shocked you have not been asked to review yet. Perhaps one of the most popular bands on this list. They are post-metal, leaning in the prog direction." Excellent. So here we all.
Okay.
What?
But I digress. I believe whatever the mainstream media tells me to believe, and I'm outraged by what they tell me to be outraged by today. And look how he did his name. But I digress.
Oh, well
we might have to reward that person for their cleverness. They might have to be rewarded.
Let's go, B. Start it. What happened? Did you get stuck?
I'm just very interested in this conversation between Sadie and Alan. But duty calls. All right, guys, let's go. The Ocean, Stinian. I got the lyrics. Let's rock and rizzle. This band is making waves. Our people are so smart. You got it, making waves because they're called the Ocean.
interesting. Oh.
Is that the right song?
trap again. Have your eyes and make eye on me. With your wisps sweet with lemon, and the bruisers on your chin told the truth about everything. Spared you a surrender.
Oh no. Is it done? This is your fault? This is your doing?
Babe.
I really like this song a lot, bro.
I feel like that this is another one that when it's done, we're gonna just. I want to just go put on the whole album.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely has that kind of. Definitely has that kind of energy.
Chill. Put the lights on.
Definitely has that
Okay.
kind of energy. That was
Oh boy.
there was an Ethiopian black metal band that we found. I think it was
Through the channel.
Yeah, I think it was his channel actually.
It was. I
Yeah.
can't remember who had requested it.
And we cheated and ended up listening to the whole record. We did. It was pretty good. Pretty good soundtrack.
We did.
Yeah, man. This song is one of those songs where, people say, "Oh, this song."
Mark, I bet it is. He said the whole album is just a classic.
People say, "Oh, this song is gonna take you on a journey." You ever hear people say that song's gonna take you on a journey? Like, man, something you ain't capping, bro. Song is gonna take you on no journey. But this song, like, first of all, I always get taken off guard when songs don't sound like I think they're gonna sound. So
the whole thing, it kept switching, and it was
yeah, and the thing is, sometimes when you have that like nice little intro,
yep,
they'll just do it. You get a nice little sweet taste of it, and then they go on to the thing, and they never go back to it. Like they sat on that at the beginning and let it develop over and over and over again. And it's one of those things where you kind of have to You have to bet on your audience that they're going to be able to
be patient enough to
to focus on focus on it, right?
So gross looking. It was a nasty ad of itchy looking somethings, and it just came up on his phone, and I shouldn't have opened it, but I had to do it.
Okay, nasty ad of itchy looking something.
Okay, I'm setting up the poll. Carry on.
It was just, and then so the intro developed, and they sat on it. They let it develop. Then when they got melodic, I was okay. So I meant to say this about the previous song. So we just did ISIS before. People were criticizing the guy's vocal style. Okay. The guy's vocal style in ISIS for that particular song was pretty unique because...
Oh, yeah. Well, was it?
Sounded... Yeah, well, I'll tell you why. It sounded like people... It sounded like people sound when they're trying to talk when they've got a punctured or collapsed lung.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it... I was like, oh, that sounds like... Because that's what it sounds like. Like they're trying to say something and... You could tell they're exerting all their strength, but it's coming out in this kind of faint whisper. And it was kind of like that. Like he was like, but it was coming out in kind of like this raspy whisper. So that's why the previous vocalist, I was like, okay, he must have heard somebody in that kind of condition. And it's if you've ever heard that kind of situation where somebody's like trying to talk, it's definitely a spooky, and they can't talk because they can't breathe. It's definitely a spooky thing to witness.
I bet it is.
That's for sure.
I bet it is.
But there's a guitarist and a violinist in this band.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know, I think almost every single time there's a song that has a violin in it, I love it.
Yeah.
Especially when it's... Because the violin has such a beautiful sound to it, and then you mix it with, like, metal-y stuff. It's just... it's very, very good.
Rest in peace to the big homie Norm Macdonald.
Thanks, Tina.
Shout out to Norm Macdonald. Yeah, like this is kind of like progressive sludge album. They were kind of proggy. You know what I'm saying? They kind of had a little bit of Nebula Viscaris kind of energy going to some degree.
You know what? You're right. That's
what I like.
Because I love prog, and
you do.
It pulled you right into that. That's exactly true. But this one. Sometimes when I hear a prog song, I'm like, I just love this. But this one, it was beckoning me to listen to the whole album.
Yeah. Some of these, like, no disrespect to the big bands, but there's only a couple songs from the major bands that I've so we heard. Was it Lateralis? Mm-hmm. I keep coming back to that record. Lateralis. I think it's probably. I'm probably gonna say it's the greatest record of all time. I'm not sure. But every song on that record was crazy. But I don't even know how to pronounce the name. It's an Ethiopian black metal band. Get it? Ethiopian black metal? Black metal. And they were unbelievable. And we listened to the album straight through. Lightbearer, another one.
Yep.
They're a little bit more established, but like I'd never heard of them. That's another one. You listen to that whole record straight through. These guys... It's a long form song too. Like Lightbearer is long form. These guys are long form, and
it's
really really good.
How long was this?
It's the first song I ever wrote on guitar was 8 minutes long, and it was horrible.
Really?
It was so bad.
Why?
Well, I only knew I didn't really know how to write riffs. I didn't know how to like transition anything. I didn't know how to do anything. But I just had my guitar. I got out of the hospital. I was like, oh.
Was it really trash, babe, or were you just exaggerating?
Well, no, trust me, I was trash. Because I was trying to be like Metallica. You know, Metallica had those 8-minute songs. I was trying to be different from, you know how I am. I was trying to be different. So it's like an 8-minute song of the same riff like 50 million times. And, you know, my girl at the time was like, well, that riff is heavy, but that's the only riff in the song. Why don't we just cut out 5 minutes of the song, and then we'll just do a 3-minute song and just ride that riff like a regular song.
Did you do it?
It's her nice way of telling me, you only have talent for nu metal at this point in your career. Vinny. No, I didn't do that. I was like, what do you know about it? You're sitting there listening to your Slipknot and your whatever.
Boy.
What do you know? You don't know anything. You didn't even touch an instrument in your life. What do you know about it? I had never touched an instrument in my life either. So whoever, okay, you've got hot cam girls, whatever. Did somebody get rid of that guy or that girl?
Report them also. So
okay.
I feel like the kids. They're a bot. Report them.
I know. Come on, guys. Yeah. Okay. So lyrically, what was going on with you? Because you were really in the zone in this song.
Vibing with it. It felt so good. Like I think that obviously music takes you all kinds of different places, but this particular song, it just, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, even when I was older than a child, I was far too old to be doing this. Whenever I saw those, you know those wooden boards that had the cutouts and it would be like, maybe it was one about trucks, and so there's a pickup truck and there's a fire truck and the little wooden board is cut out like that, and it's got a little wooden peg, and you stick each of them in their allotted spots. Everything fit as it should, and there's only like 5 or 6 pieces.
All is right with the world.
It's not going to take that long to do, and so I would go set up. Anytime I saw those when I was babysitting and they were out of order, I had to order them.
Well, you didn't have to order them.
Here we go again. No, I did. It felt good for me to do so. You know?
Right.
Anyway, so I'm like, this song was like that. Like it just, I felt like I just like fit right into the song. And it was, I muted my mic because I didn't want to disturb it for other people that were like listening to it. Plus, you know when you're wearing headphones and you think something sounds really great? Then you see it in the presence like, ah, you know what I mean? So I muted my mic and pulled off to the side, but it was like really fun to like kind of harmonize with it and stuff. So this is going to be a shower song for me.
You were like singing. Again. You were singing along with the words.
Yeah, just kind of, but it was harmonizing because going in different places and what they were doing. I really, really liked it.
Back in the day, people like, this reaction channel is bullshit. They're saying that they're reacting to the song for the first time, but they know all the lyrics.
We have the lyrics in front of us.
Right under that comment, they'd be like, why does that black fella keep looking to the side?
Right.
He's distracted. It's like right one on top of the other.
Why does that black fellow?
Now that we got this program, I can like bring the lyrics right on top.
Why not?
On
I know,
screen.
but I still look over here because possibly I need glasses.
Yeah, I do it too, like force the habit type of thing. But yeah.
Oh my gosh. So for me, this song, it was just absolutely perfect. I don't even have a negative critique for it. It was perfect. It was flawless to me. I loved it.
Flawless victory.
Yeah.
Liu Kang wins.
Oops, I'm not supposed to say that.
Fatality. What? It's not supposed to say what?
I said, you just quoted a line and I was doing the lyrics after.
Flawless victory? Liu Kang wins?
You can't do shit to me.
Oh, the big pump. Flawless victory makes the shit to be physically, hypothetically, lyrically, realistic.
Then I realized that I said the forbidden word.
Oh, yeah. Slugs! Okay. Shout out to Archero, who introduced us to that Ethiopian.
I just have to say something to our mods. You can put people on a timeout, but you can also block them, and there's also another option to report them. If it's something like that where it's like pornography or anything like that, do the report button and click it as pornography, and then they'll take care of it on their end. So putting them in timeouts is just going to keep them out, and then they're going to keep coming back and
get rid of them.
And, so report them and get them out of here.
Freaking rid of them.
There's no 300-second timeout for that.
Shout out to Calista.
What did you think about
new person in the house? Shout out to Calista. What were you saying?
What did you get?
What did I get from the song?
Yeah.
Did I enjoy the song, or are you asking my opinion? Because I usually, nobody ever worries about what little old Vinny has to say.
Please, everybody does.
Especially when you're around. Oh, that's your girlfriend. That's Sean's girlfriend. Hey! That is awesome.
Well, Calista, I think you found a good egg. He seems to be a very nice kid.
Boop, boop, boop. Shout out to Chris. Okay.
Wait, I thought this was Sean's girl.
That is, right?
Oh, but then you said shout out to Chris. Oh, he's short.
Her name is Calista.
Yeah.
My bad. Shout out to Cliss. My bad. Shout out to the homie Sean.
Oh, I thought you gave her a nickname already. I'm like, well, hey, you got a nickname.
I think, weren't we supposed to send her a shirt? Or was that other dude who was trying to get with that girl? And she said yes, I was going to send him a shirt.
Oh,
but she said no.
Well.
But apparently she said yeah. Hey, Shorty, if you want a shirt, let us know. Send us an email, VinandSori@gmail.com. We'll get you a shirt. Okay.
Yeah, Sean knows how to contact us. Just go to my secret email, Sean, for that one if she wants a shirt.
Stinian, can you put my comment up? How about a small pepperoni pizza? Okay. There you go. Okay, so lyrically... People, if you, dear listener, are in regular YouTube world, you're not on the live stream. We do our videos with our folks, so you're getting the second hand. So there's a lot of interaction. There's a lot of things going back and forth. You got fun. We got theological discussions. We got cool things happening. We got love connections happening. We've got Goth Mom. We've got Tina. We've got everything in the greatest thing in the world ever.
And of course, you can't leave out our DJ, Mark Decken.
Yeah. He's just literally the most important person in this entire thing. Doesn't get any credit whatsoever.
What is happening, Vin? Your mind is turning to mush. What did you do before this
Sean
stream?
shows up. I'm like, hey, it's my little guy. It's my little buddy.
Sorry, Mark.
Shout out to Mark.
Okay. At this time of the year, the skies are mostly gray and overcast.
Hold on. Let me put the lyrics up there. All right. Go ahead. I just wanted you to see it.
I like to smile.
I'm sorry to hear that,
I have
BC.
to go like this to see it. It's not working for me.
I have credit in the little bar at the bottom. Oh, I know that, bro. I know that. But you know how your sister gets down. You know how that shit works, bro. Nothing you can do about it.
Well,
Nothing you can do about it, bro.
At this time of the year, the skies are mostly gray and overcast. A steady wind blows relentlessly, and time is passing by so fast. Let the rain purge the land. Wash it all away. The days are getting... Stop it. What? The days are getting shorter. A long white foamy band. My solitary vest. You know what? Honestly, I have no clue what the song was about. Why don't you take it from here?
Just finish the lyrics.
Okay. A long white foamy band. My solitary vessel plows through the turbid green water. Looming large in the distance, snow-topped mountains are drifting by. The whole scenery immersed in a surreal yellow late afternoon light. I've been here before. I know this scene. There are jellyfish in this foam, and that it all came back to me. How the wind played its gentle game, nebulized and beguiled me, with your wisps and sweet with lemon, and the bruises on your chin. Well, that took a turn. Spoke the truth about our everything, and spared you a sermon. I've been here before. I know this scene, and the waning northern southern light reflecting the freckle of your right eye. The setting sun's last desperate rays illuminating this tragic story's grade. What the hell did I just read? What are they saying?
Yeah, I initially thought it was talking about the planet.
I knew.
I initially thought he was talking about the planet. Then I was like, okay, there's a breakup here. And then I'm like, is this an abusive guy? Because it says, with your wisps sweet with lemon, and the bruises on your chin spoke the truth about our everything and spared you a sermon. Maybe reflecting in the freckle of your right eye.
Oh, people don't have freckles in their eyes. What is he talking about?
Right. Well, it depends though, because maybe they made a mistake on the language. Maybe English isn't their first language. But I'm looking. If I look at all the other lyrics here, like this is definitely a concept record. Look, everything.
It sounded kind of.
Everything ends. Everything you've got Hadean, Forakian, Paleorakian, Nesarakian, Sidurian, and then Stinian, Tanian, Kyogenian. So, like, this is a concept album. It seems like about nature or the elements or whatever. Is what it looks like to me.
Oh.
This is a concept album about an existential crisis, essentially.
What is the existential crisis? What is he saying? That he spoke the truth about our everything and spared you a sermon. I've been here before. I know the scene.
Okay, here we go. We've got some clues. The Stinian is actually a period. In the geologic table there.
At this time of the year. Oh, okay.
The Stinian period is the final geological period in the Mesoproterozoic era and lasted from 1200 Maya to 1000 Maya. Instead of being based on stratigraphy, these dates are defined chronometrically. The name derives from the narrow polymetric belts formed over this period. Okay. So it's about at the end of an era, basically. The Stinian era, like from 1 to 1.
I wonder why he says I've been here before. I know this scene.
Well, it's probably because his relationships never work out. Maybe it's a girl and she's going back to her abusive boyfriend or husband or whatever, which they always do, right? To some degree. At this time of year, the skies are almost gray and overcast. A steady wind blows relentlessly. The time is passing by so fast. Let the rain purge the land, wash it all away. The days are getting shorter. A long, white, foamy band. My solitary vessel plows through the turbid green water. Looming large in the distance, snow-topped mountains and drifting by, the whole scenery immersed. Looks like he's leaving. He's on his way out.
Jellyfish will sting you and cause you to burn. So he's saying,
but they're beautiful.
In the white foam is jellyfish. He's been here before. He knows that there's a painful leaving. Yeah. But his ship is offshore and he's gonna leave in his ship, I guess.
Yeah.
Not his ship. I assumed it was a submarine, but it said vessel, I think. So maybe you're right. Maybe it does have to do with. And then it all came back to me how the wind played his gentle game, nebulized and beguiled me. I love the word beguiled, I have to say. Whenever they say it in a movie, it's always usually a really good movie. Didn't we just see a really good movie recently? We did, and I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, it's true. We did.
It was really good.
It feels like a day or two ago.
Yes, it was.
I don't know. We'll figure it out later.
Okay.
Was it Godfather?
Well, Godfather's really good, but I don't think that's the one it was.
But keep going.
So with your wisp sweet with lemon and the bruises on your chin. Why would somebody have bruises on their chin? Besides the obvious of someone hit them on the chin. Like, that's not really like...
What?
If there's a relationship fight, I mean, do people usually... Does the guy usually pop her on the chin? I mean, isn't it usually the eye or the lip or the side of the head? Or, you know what I mean? Like, why chin? I feel like we're missing something here.
I don't think we're missing anything. I just think he hit her on the chin. I think the dude.
You think he did hit her?
Yeah, I think the guy is contrasting all the beauty of nature with how difficult relationships are. So like it is an ironic thing that we're in this beautiful thing called the planet Earth, and you could be surrounded by all this beauty, and yet this guy seems miserable because of an interpersonal issue he's had. And he's like, man, I've been here before. I know how this goes. You know what I'm saying? And it's very, very, the relationship that human beings have to nature and the way that nature can dictate our moods.
Oh, yeah.
Is very, very, very fascinating. But it seems to me that this guy, like, there's an interface. And, you know, some of this might have to do with, like, you know how when you run into a landmark and it's just so amazing and breathtaking and it's like one of these once in a lifetime experience types of things. When you see that beauty again on TV or in a postcard, you're automatically going to associate it with the people that you were around when you were there.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So nature is something that's kind of like immovable and it's cyclical and you can kind of depend on it. Like over and over again, this is going to keep it. But relationships are not that way. Relationships are volatile, whatever. And many of them, most of them, well, all of them die out. In the sense of you're going, because relationships are connected to
the living.
You know, human nature, right? So what's crazy is the jellyfish and the water, all that shit is going to continue, whether or not this relationship thing is good for this guy or not. It's just going to keep continuing. It's going to keep being beautiful, whether his life is ugly or not. And it was doing that shit before he was there, and it'll do that shit thousands of years after he's there, inshallah. So it's like the steady beauty of nature contrasted with and it's not even necessarily human sinfulness, right? Like, it's not wrong that the girl doesn't like him like that. You know what I'm saying?
Wrong if he punched her, though.
Well, yeah, it'd be wrong. Yeah, right. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's the juxtaposition of the beauty of nature versus her beautiful face has now been marred by this action, right? And so it's like
that's interesting.
It's almost a good thing that nature's going to outlast us in the universe of this song, almost.
There are some people that think freckles are just downright cute, but there are lots of people that see freckles as flaws. And so he says the freckle in her right eye. And so I wonder if that is, where did he say that? What did he say about that exactly?
Closer to the end when he said that.
And the waning northern summer light reflecting the freckle of your right eye. I wonder if that has anything to do. Okay, so one thing was you said, you know, nature can dictate our moods. So if we wake up and you're like, fuck, another rainy day, are you friggin' serious?
Yeah.
But the weather can dictate our mood, but our mood does not dictate the weather. So you can be having a really, really great day and it can be raining. Or you can be really having like a really horrible day and it's a beautiful, unbelievable day. So that was kind of like the flip side of that. Like,
Yeah.
Nature doesn't listen to us. We kind of follow it. But then if you look at the freckle thing,
if things are going right, I mean, there are times when we don't listen to nature either. The tree is saying, "Don't cut me down. I'm just starting to grow," and we go, "Man, fuck you."
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm talking specifically about weather.
But go ahead.
Because he's talking about
we affect
northern
the weather
lights
too.
and
We change the weather.
Well, by
greenhouse
our
effect.
Yeah, by that sort of stuff. I'm talking about our moods though.
Oh, okay.
Like the weather affects our moods, but our mood doesn't affect the weather.
Right.
That's
yes.
what I'm specifically talking about. So
as
when
far,
he's talking
as far
about,
as we know for now.
wouldn't that be crazy?
Huh?
That'd be wild. Oh, you said something really interesting last night, but then you stopped talking.
Oh yeah.
You should have gone with it, babe.
No way.
Why not?
That stuff that's all like I don't like to talk about like woo weird stuff. Why? You like that stuff. I don't like talking about those experiences. So
apparently, okay. So I'm wondering if he said I spared you. He already talked about the bruises on her chin,
right?
And then I was thinking when it said, "And the waning northern summer light reflecting the freckle of your right eye," maybe that has to do with. So if a freckle in this is like more like a flawed, like her right eye now like looks at him differently, like things are different.
Holy shit. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think about freckles?
I mean, anything that is on you, I'm going to like.
I do have freckles. You just can't.
You know what
them.
I'm going to say? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like.
But
it's just such a strange question to me.
Well, yeah, but you know, like there's like normal things that people are like, oh, you know, like I like this, I don't like this, and then you get with somebody who has those things that you like, you're like, cool, those are the things I like. Freckles is never a thing you probably thought of, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so what do you think about that? What freckle the right eye?
Look, Ben is so angry that I don't believe that beauty is subjective.
Wait. I agree, but Vin and Sori often talk about objective beauty, so it was just weird that Sori just admitted beauty is subjective. It's like they don't believe their own bullshit.
Well, I don't know if you...
Okay, Ben, hold on, Ben. I don't know if you know this, but I actually have a mind that's different than Vin's. Right. And so just because Vin says something doesn't mean that that's what I say about it.
Right.
In fact, we had this discussion about beauty just a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Because Vin was saying he believes that beauty is objective. And I said, I think that there is an objective standard of beauty, but I do think that there is a form of beauty that is subjective. So I think that there is a form of beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And I'm not saying that there is not objective beauty. Of course there is objective beauty. There's objective beauty that it doesn't matter which time period or which nation or whatever you put somebody in, they're going to be considered beautiful wherever they are. But there is also people that are not that type of beautiful.
You take this girl and put her to 1872. Dudes would still kill over her. Put her in 1672. Dudes would still kill over her. Put her in 172. Dudes still gonna be dying over her. So, Ben, come on, man.
But there's other, you know.
Stop.
I think that like the freckle thing, you know what I mean? Like there's some people that they don't like freckles at all. And there's some people that they love freckles with a friggin' passion. So that's not something that's like, it's subjective. That's how you are, and then you fall in love with somebody and you...
I could bring Soraya to Saudi Arabia right now. She'd be the bee's knees. I could bring her to the Sudan. I could bring her to Syria. She'd be the bee's knees. I've been to those places. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter where you go. I'm not just saying that because she's my girl. She's my girl because she's the baddest bitch on the planet. Sorry. This song was good. This song was very, very good. I'm going to give this song a 9.8.
This one's an 11 for me. And I really want to hear the rest of the album. What?
All right. Having said that, Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
Well, that's the end of the stream, guys. I'm just kidding.
See ya.
Just kidding. That was only song 2.
Oh no, Arabic dudes love blondes. Hence, so many blondes. Hey, I'll probably talk. I'll talk to you offline.
That's offline.
Talk to you offline about a funny story.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay, guys, another one coming up. Stand by.
Did you promise this person a song?
I don't know who that person is. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at villageXchange@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A challenge shall lead them.
Poll results are being posted as we speak. Okay.
Oh no.
So we are on to the next song on our
sir.
DJ stream.
Yes,
a DJ
sir.
stream is where you get to pick all the songs that we listen to that night. It has to be a minimum of 4. And our DJ tonight is DJ Mark.
Yes,
Shout out
DJ
to him.
Mark.
The next
Best
song on
of
his
all
list
time.
is Grown
Boop,
Below.
boop, 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 boop. Go ahead.
My Triumph.
Oh, wait, say that again because people were hearing the boop, boop, boop.
Grown Below, My Triumph.
Grown
Let's go
below.
from super popular to very underground.
Okay.
This is one of those hidden gems and perhaps the closest to Lightbearer in sound.
Okay, Grown Below. You've never heard of this band before, but you will not be able to unhear them after today. Let's go. Okay. That was another freaking epic band. Holy shizzle. What was going on with you?
It was another trip taker.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this Mark guy. Mark is like a they call them psychonauts, these people that go on DMT trips on a regular basis.
Yeah.
We keep getting dropped by YouTube, so we're gonna keep coming here.
When you guys, if you get booted out, because I keep getting booted out on my side too, because I'm watching the stream from my computer, so I can check the stream. So if that happens to you, I just close the tab and come back in. So.
No, we're good on our side. All our internet issues are fixed, y'all.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
All our stuff is perfect.
I believe it has to do with something else. There's a conspiracy. What was it? Vin joined the Illuminati. What are they?
All right.
Illuminati.
All right. Okay. So this one.
Oh, that water's so good.
Grown Below, My Triumph. My Triumph is the name of that song from the band Grown Below. What was going on with you there?
Okay, first of all.
What was going on with you from Grown Below?
It's the same thing as the last time, but it was just like a different sort of I felt very, very content listening to this song and happy.
Okay.
So,
what about the song made you happy?
I don't know. I just think that it was very well done. And I appreciated the excellence that was in it and just the way that I just felt like everything that followed the thing before fit perfectly. Again, I don't have any criticism for this band.
The arrangements.
Yes.
Yeah, the arrangements were great. Once again, they were very, very. I think the genre makes it so you can bet on your audience a little bit, because it is true. Like a lot of times, like sometimes when you write, like I remember one time, I was in school and like I had said something, but it was like way over the people's heads, so they thought it was trash. They didn't get it, so I had to kind of like. The next time I was in a battle, I was like, all right, I gotta dumb it down for these people, because otherwise I'm not
You're not going to get recognized.
Yeah, I'm not going to get recognized. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like,
yeah, because then you have to stop and explain the whole thing.
Jay-Z has this one song nobody knows about it, and it's a funny song. Like he's got a comedian on it, but he's rapping about shooting someone, but it is so densely packed with metaphors.
Oh.
It's the greatest rap song of all time as far as like lyricism, and it was just a throwaway song that he put it on. I think it was his Blueprint or something, but it was unbelievable what he was doing with words, and I knew what he was doing, but you almost had to be like from that area in that era to get everything about what he was saying. And I just remember listening to that song, and I just remember going, okay, Jay-Z's the greatest rapper of all time, period. These guys, what these guys can do with understated music, and then like it's like they mastered the concept of arrangements and understanding how one. Because really, when you say, "Oh, this is heavy" or "this is melodic," what are you saying? Well, you're saying that the arrangements is such that it makes me want to move. Mm-hmm. That's all you're saying when you're saying a song is heavy. When you say a song is heavy, it means the song makes you want to move
or break things.
It instigates movement to the point where the movement is going to be violent, because that's
right.
And so when you say a song is melodic, it's another kind of energy, right? That affects you in a different way. So, but these guys were able to still have that feeling of heaviness without necessarily, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's very, very, very hard to describe, but the sounds that these guys were making were crazy, instrumentally speaking.
I don't know if you remember, we were so limited. There was like short spans of time where we actually had TV that had cable attached to it. So I really couldn't even tell you what cartoon it was. I just remember that there would be cartoons where they could ride on the clouds. And like sometimes the character was like falling asleep and they'd like slip through and another cloud would catch them and they'd slip through and go on another cloud. And so like this song just kind of made me feel like that. It was like slipping from one sound to the next and it just like kept taking me to these different little places.
He keeps bringing up that band, Lightbringer or Lightbearer.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. Okay, so here's a thing that really separates Lightbearer to me from the other guys is their lyricism.
Oh.
Like the Lightbearer, the lyricism in Lightbearer is just on another. It's just a different, just another level. Like these are good songs. The arrangements are powerful, but they don't have the lyric. And I think Lightbearer does melody a lot better actually.
Oh, okay.
Than any of the bands that we've heard so far.
Okay.
So
I actually didn't look at the lyrics. I generally, when I listen to music on my own, I'm not a big lyric person. I go by the feel of the song, and then I pick what I hear out of the song. Doesn't necessarily mean it's what the artist said, and I'm good with that. And then after I enjoy the song like that for a while, then I go back and then I listen to it with the lyrics so I can hear all the words and then learn it. But I was actually... This was so cute. You guys will probably appreciate this. So I was listening to this one song and I loved it. And I rarely go into like other people's comment sections to read, but the song I thought was just phenomenal. I just couldn't believe how unbelievable the song was. And then I scroll down into the comment section and somebody said, "This song is so unbelievable. I just wish that I could forget that I heard it and re-listen to it." And then somebody else came in and said, "I take songs off all the time and they either speed it up a little bit or they turn it down a little bit and change the tone just a smidge so then the song kind of sounds new so they can re-experience it." I said, "That is great." That is a serious music lover to be able to do something like that. But I don't know. I'm just going to read the lyrics here. Ben is mocking you.
Could not believe how unbelievable it was.
Shut up, Ben.
That's great.
Well, the words I spoke opened my eyes when I woke. I live in silence, a room to contemplate. I praise myself and all I have and own. He sounds like the rich man in the Bible. And also like your
like
boy, what's his name? Ooh. LeBron James. They better. I
just gotta take some time to congratulate myself.
I want to be the first to congratulate myself. He said.
Later, Sean.
Be the first. Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He had to. LeBron. Shout out to LeBron. He had to be the first to congratulate himself.
Right.
What a weirdo. Shout out to the homie.
Well, the words I spoke opened my eyes when I woke. I live in silence, a room to contemplate. I praise myself and all I have and own. They better send you away. You're clearly waiting decay. You have entered your last call. You are intending to fall. My message to you all, you have entered your last call. No matter what they want, if I could, I would still do the same. If I could, you've read the book at last. If I could, I'd tear the book apart. I'm not reaching. I actually think these lyrics are kind of trash. Am I reading it shittily?
I don't think they're trash.
I don't think shittily is a word.
I don't think they're trash. It's just it's not Lightbringer, but it looks to be.
I mean,
he says right here, the words I spoke opened my eyes when I woke. I live in silence, a room to contemplate. I praise myself and all I have and own. They better send you away. You're clearly waiting decay. You're waiting to die. You're just sitting here waiting to die. You're not really living. You've entered your last call. You're intending to fall. My message is to all. You have entered your last call. No matter what they want, if I could, I would still do the same. If I could. You've read the book at last. If I could, I'd tear the book apart. I'm not reaching. I will not be the one who's reaching. I'll be the one who's teaching. It looks to me like he's talking about, this is probably a guy who's sloughing off his religious heritage because they were, he grew up around a bunch of religious hypocrites and he came out of the closet right there. The words I spoke opened my eyes when I woke. So I think it's one of those things where you just finally come out and say it and you're like, and it's like vocalizing it finally makes it more real. So I think he finally got to the point where he was vocalizing his unbelief, and so in doing so it kind of confirmed the unbelief because it made it real.
Right. I remember we were talking about that years ago, probably in the other life we had, and I remember you had said something about that because people would say, you know what, when I left religion, I felt so much peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
what about it?
It just reminded me, because of what you just said, it reminded me of that same thing when you would say that. Like how people would say they have peace when they left their religion. And you basically were saying that it was because there was this battle within them, whether they were going to stay with their original thought or they were going to change and do something else. And are we going to do this? Are we not going to do this? Are we not? And then when they finally said, you know what, I'm throwing off all religion and I'm going with this other train of thought, they felt peace because there was no longer that battle inside of them.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean that they have peace because they're in a safe or good place, but they were in turmoil. So you see, do you know what I'm talking about?
Who are you talking about?
What do you mean, who? I was talking to you. Oh, who was saying that they felt peace?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I almost want to say it was something that we were hearing, but it was like a thing where we heard it multiple times in a row where people were saying, once I got rid of religion, I felt so much peace. I want to say it had to do with some of those, like, I can't even think of his name. This is ridiculous. He's very popular.
Jordan Peterson?
No. He doesn't agree with our thought processes. And when you back it, like, he's big time in his circle, but if you back him up far enough, he's the same thing. He has to base everything off faith because he doesn't know where anything originated either.
Is this a Christian, an atheist?
No, he's an atheist.
Arn Ra?
No, we've never talked to the guy. We've just seen his stuff. Oh my word!
Where do we see it?
You see it on the. Whenever we watch stuff on atheism, he's like big up in the. I think he's also like into evolution and stuff like that.
I watch him regularly.
No, you don't watch him regularly. Just once in a while.
Okay, what did he say?
But I think he was one of the people that came to the point where when he decided he was done with religion, he had a lot of peace.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my word! I can see the guy's face. It's so annoying.
Dawkins?
Yes, Dawkins.
Yeah.
All I kept thinking was Darwin, and I knew it wasn't Darwin's. Wasn't it Dawkins that said that?
Yeah.
So, and then we had a conversation about it because I was like, well, that's a little alarming. Why is he feeling peace if he's going away from the peace giver? And then that's when you said, well, that's because there was like this battle within himself.
Well, yeah, there's a concept in the Bible of judicial hardening.
Thanks, Jambi.
Judicial hardening, which says that if you resist knowledge that you know to be true, then God does not owe you the ability to reason. Mm-hmm. Because God has only given you the ability to reason so that you and he could apprehend each other and have an actual relationship.
Right.
But since you want to marshal your thinking faculties against your creator, then God says, I'm not obligated to continue to let you reason reasonably. Mm-hmm. And so then you end up with, your foolish heart becomes darkened, and then people start, we end up in the situation that we're in right now. Look, say what you want, and believe what you want. But there's no way you can look at Joe Biden as a president and go, yeah, God's really pleased with that country. Look at the leader he gave them.
Yeah.
You're not looking at our current situation, our current problems in the current situation in the world, and you're looking at Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I literally feel like me and you could do a better job.
Oh, we could, 100%.
Like, I literally feel that way.
For sure.
We're clearly under God's judgment. The fact that all that we had for choices was Hillary and
Trump.
I didn't want to rehash it, but yeah, no, it is an interesting type of situation, right? But this guy he's turning his back on it, and he's like, oh, good, you finally read the book, right? Like, again, that's why I'm saying, like, this person's is calling out a religious hypocrite, mm-hmm. right? And so you call out a religious hypocrite, and so it's like, oh, you finally read the book. You see what I'm saying? Like, it makes sense. So it looks to me like this is a guy, teenager, maybe young, early 20s, and he's finally let the cat out of the bag. Like, I don't believe any of this bullshit, Mom and Dad. You guys are hypocrites, and now I'm going to have my time. I'm going to be teaching you, because, parents usually teach the kids. And so there you go.
I actually think it's extremely healthy.
It looks like that.
For, within reason, I guess you could say. Maybe this is a totally irresponsible thing to say. But I think that it's...
Hold on. No. I'm never going to go away from politics and back to music. I'm never going to do that. Ever. Or religion. Go ahead.
I think that... where was I? Too many marks in the chat. Because Deccan is our DJ. He's like, too many marks in the chat. Okay, so I think that... Shoot, what was I going to say? What were we just talking about before?
I was saying that we're clearly under God's judgment. We've got Biden and Kamala as our presidents.
Oh, I think that it's healthy for people to be honest with where they really are and not fearing people around them and what they're going to think or say about them. Because I think that you can get further along in it. Because everybody's on their own journey. And, you know, you're at the start of your journey and at the end of your journey. You do your journey by yourself. And you kind of couple with people along the way. And you find friends and acquaintances and, you know, YouTube channels. You know, but at the same time, like, you're on your own journey and your own journey is taking you to where your destination is. And so I think that, you know, especially if you grew up in a religious household, sometimes you can kind of be like, is this bullshit? And I think that it's important to be able to kind of explore that and see, you know.
Oh, if religion is bullshit.
Right.
Or if the religion you're following is bullshit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of times the environment of religion is constricted so that way people are less likely to leave it. So you kind of feel uncomfortable. You really have to like burn all your friggin' bridges to be able to say, I'm not sure what I think about this. And I don't think it should be like that. I think that there should be a, you know, I don't agree with this either, but like there's a group of people. I can't think of anything tonight. It's not the Amish, I don't think. Where it's like bundling or something like that they call it or whatever. Like they hit a certain point where then they can go out and just like wreak havoc in the world and decide whether they want to come back and live with their family or carry on with their, you know what I mean? Like that whole thing.
Sounds like the Amish thing, yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm not promoting that, but I do think that you have to be able to allow people to dig in and really look at what they believe and ask questions and doubt things. And even you see that with Jesus. When that guy came up to Jesus, he was like, Jesus said, do you believe? And the man's like, I believe, but help my unbelief. So that means he didn't fully believe. He had a lot of doubt. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and the stereotype is usually, religious parents, but you know, it seems to me that that's true across the board. I was just watching Stephen Meyer, and he had he had just deconverted this guy from believing in Darwinism at the macro level. And this guy's a credentialed guy, still an atheist or whatever he calls himself.
yeah.
But you know, Steve, I mean, everybody who's really in it knows that this is not a pristine theory that doesn't have gaps and whatever.
Right.
And so anyway, I'm watching these guys, and these guys they've got like 70 years. There was like 4 or 5 of them, and there was like 70 years of professorship between all these very intelligent people. But it was just very interesting watching. And there was another guy, and the other guy was like a career skeptic, and like his job was to be skeptical. So he's like, "Look, I'm skeptical of evolution too. Like I haven't seen this shit happen. Like how are we supposed to know?" And it was kind of weird because we've done this a bunch of times on the channel. Like people supposedly skeptical about religion, but believe all the other stuff like without even questioning it.
Yeah.
So this guy, he was kind of weird. He had a cane. I don't know, it's kind of weird. And he was like, he was basically talking about the scientific community. Everybody's brainwashed because you can't say anything against Darwinism. The minute you do that, it's the end of your career, and you have to account for that. Mm-hmm. You have to, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. But that's why I said I'll say this. I do think the internet atheism, the Dawkins stuff, is going away. Mm-hmm. I really do.
Well, it has to.
I think somebody said in the chat, there's not a lot of substance to.
Right.
Now, if you want to read Nietzsche or if you want to jump off a bridge, go read some Bertrand Russell. Mm-hmm. You know, what did he say? Unyielding despair was the only building materials we had to build the scaffold of our pathetic existence. Whatever the line was. It's horrible. So my point is like this thing where like you can't allow for a contrary view. Like it goes both ways, and to me, the root of it is fear.
Yeah.
So like if a kid is reading Genesis 1, he goes to his mom and dad and says, "Yeah, but this doesn't square with, you know, you telling me the Earth is 6,000 years old does not square with the 13.7 billion number that I heard all through school." How does this work? And if the parent says, well, that's because your teacher is an agent of Satan, it's not helpful. The teacher may be an agent of Satan, or your interpretation of Genesis 1 is wrong. Is that possible? And conversely, you go to these places or whatever, and you say, "Hey, I think there's a problem here with this model of evolution." Oh, you're crazy! Blah 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 blah. Let's just pretend Stephen Jay Gould didn't exist and punctuated equilibrium because they were serious. We're just gonna ignore all that. No. We're all unified, and you guys are dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, like, I can imagine being. Can you imagine being a Christian kid who gets convinced of theism in a household like that?
Yeah.
Where there's all the snide remarks about how unintelligent creationists are and all the rest of it. It's the same effect. You see what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where it's like human nature. It's so easy to point out the other side. So I'm looking at like, yeah, fuck those religious hypocrites. And then I'm like, it makes you pause a little bit as a parent and say, how much freedom do the kids have really to say? I mean, because they get to argue, they get to fight, they get to call a family meeting. But my thing is it enough? Do they have enough leeway? Because just because they have more leeway than your average kid doesn't mean that it's where it should be. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't really compare myself to like the average parent wouldn't allow their kid to call it, because you can call a family, you can do anything, you can question anything in this house, you can do anything. I mean, there really is not much distinction between what rights a child has and what rights a parent has in this house, which makes her very upset. But
even the kids don't, like, they're given that, but they don't give it to the younger kids. Like, they rule autocratically with the younger kids. I'm like, whoa.
Well, yeah.
Whoa.
Right.
This next, because we have, we've got 4 older kids, and then we have 2 that are younger. And so the older kids, they there's like like a hierarchy.
Yes.
Like we're the parents.
There you go, Mark.
Open up to discussion.
Yeah.
And then beneath them are the youngest ones. And like sometimes like I come around and I just see them like, be like, blah, they're like laying down the law. I'm like, hold on. I mean, you've had a million discussions about whatever X, Y, and Z thing. Like, give that child. He's only 2. You know what I mean? Like, you can't hold a 2-year-old to a higher standard than you hold your own self to, sir. Oh boy.
Yeah, the idea that science has nothing to do with.
Well, it's interesting.
I mean, that's. I don't believe that. But I understand why people say it.
Well, I think that people are scared because there are some times where science hasn't lined up with our understanding of the scriptures. And I think you're right. There's some times where you've interpreted that incorrectly. And that's on you. That's not on, you know what I mean? And you were the first person that said like that Christians were the pioneers of science because they were saying we're thinking God's thoughts after him. So because there is an intelligent mind behind this, there has to be intelligent design behind whatever it is that you're studying. So I'm going to keep searching until I can figure out some pattern, something that makes sense. And that is how science really got started and took off. And so when you think about that, like I remember, did I say something that you disagree?
No, I'm agreeing. There's certain assumptions you have to do science in the first place.
Well, yeah.
That's what Bertrand Russell would talk about induction. How do you know the law of gravity is going to be the law of gravity tomorrow? How do you know that? Mm-hmm. And it's, Bertrand Russell wrote this book toward the end of his life. Is basically unsolvable problems from our worldview. And induction, well, obviously was at the top of them. Obviously the hard problem of consciousness. But, it's really fascinating because people really don't see how religiously devoted they are to an idea.
I know.
So, for example, I talk about the hard problem of consciousness. They say the scientists are going to figure that out in the future. How do you know that? That's a faith claim.
Exactly. And we can't give an answer like that. If we don't have an answer for why we believe what we believe, and we were to say, well, God's going to give us the answer later, they'd be like, what?
Right.
What?
Correct.
This is madness. Look at these Christians.
And my only thing is just admit that you're a man or a woman of faith. That's my thing. Don't act like, oh, I'm a fact person over here, and you people are faith. Stop it.
Right.
You're not a skeptic. You're a regular person like most of us, and you've got biases that you want confirmed, and then you have things that you want to avoid that you want to deny, just like all of us. There are bad implications. Look, if Christianity is not true, there are some very bad and disappointing implications for me. Right?
Yes.
But
that
if
is
Christianity
disappointing, to
is
put it
true,
mildly.
if Christianity is true, there are some very bad eventualities for Christopher Hitchens.
Yeah.
Because he's not an atheist now. That's what
Right.
I believe. Rest in peace to the homie. So what I'm saying is, I wish we would both, because that's how we can get some understanding. You're a man of faith. I'm a man of faith. There are conveniences for believing what you believe. There are conveniences for believing what I believe. There are inconvenient truths that will happen if you're wrong. Same for me. So we can function as equals, and then maybe we can get to the truth. But this whole silly idea that these people set up, where it's like, okay, we're the intellectuals, and man, come on, man. And then you could tell. I'm not gonna say that. See, the Lord censored me a lot today. Probably because of the people in the no. Where do you get the song?
Well, one more thing. One thing that I used to say. So, I don't want to dishonor my father when I'm saying my father. He's a simple sort of person, and he doesn't want to think too deeply into something. He doesn't want to feel confused or whatever.
Well, he's a man of his. I mean, it's Maine.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
It's Maine, and your dad had different focuses. He didn't he kind of like me, right? Didn't have a lot of education, but had a family, a pretty decent sized family he had to take care of.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, he had a YouTube channel where he could spend 5 hours a day reading and shit. Go ahead.
Right. And well, he didn't have time for studying because he was building his business. So.
Shout out to the homie.
Right. Shout out to the homie. So anyway, my dad had always taught us, like, if somebody doesn't believe in the Bible, he said, then you don't have a leg to stand on. You can't even talk to them about religion or anything else. So I thought, okay, well, if that's true, then we're in trouble, because if someone doesn't believe in the Bible, then there's nothing that you can do to talk to them. So I remember talking to different people, and they were like, you realize that the earth is millions and billions of years old. Do you know how long it took the earth to get created? And I was like, I was saying, no, the earth is only 2,000 years old, because I was saying
2,000 was Jesus.
Well, yeah, but I was saying it was, I for some reason was thinking that prior to, it was a countdown that was 2,000 years, and then after Jesus was another 2,000. So then,
okay.
2,000 to Jesus, and then another, whatever after.
Yeah.
So they were like, no, that's not true. And then they were going into all the explanations of proving that the earth was extremely old. And I was like, well, that's not true. And they were like, how do you know it's not true? And I said that because the Bible said it was made in 7 days, and then we have a timeline going forward after that. And they're like, no, sorry. And they kept they tried a couple times, but because I had in the back of my head my dad saying, look, if they don't believe in the Bible, you have no leg to stand on.
I remember you told me that. I was like, what the hell are you what?
So anyway,
what do you mean?
Every time I said it, I just got more confident in myself as I was saying it, and I was like, no, the Bible, and what the Bible says, the Bible is truth. And then finally the person, I think they just...
Yeah, well, that's why the guy
they
in the
didn't
song,
tell me I was wrong.
That's why the guy in the song said, he said, I'll be the one who's teaching. That's the reason why, because you here it is, Satan somebody told me this. One of my guys, Sean, the guy that told me how to play guitar.
Yeah.
He brought this to me. Satan created the fossil record to hide the truth of young Earth creationism. He said that's what some Christian told him. And
really?
Yeah. Because
I've never heard that. Are you serious?
Oh yeah, Sean is one of those. But he was one of those guys.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, if I'm gonna join the team, I gotta be in this shit, and I gotta know, because when he was teaching me guitar, he was writing this book called The Bible, a bunch of bullshit. That was literally the name.
Yeah, you told me that.
So I said, what the fuck? I said, what's that, man? And he started saying all this, inaccurate shit, but he said it very confident. Joe Rogan called it ignorant.
Actually, that sounds like that other guy you listen to. The one who goes, ooh, who is he?
Yeah, Lucas. Shout out to the amazing Lucas. Shout out to the homie.
Doesn't that look like a word he'd make up?
Yeah. Ignorant.
Ignorant.
Yeah,
okay.
so he was ha ha ha, all this other, and I said, well, blah blah blah, and then he became a Christian. Then he was going on the other side, so he's looking at everything, and then sure enough, fossil record came up, Genesis 1. I was like, there's this thing called theistic evolution. There's this thing called biologos. Go to biologos.com. You don't have to go there. Although there are serious problems with Darwinian, with macroevolution. There are serious issues. I shot it to one of my guys, and I said, "Yo, check this out. Is this bullshit?" And he didn't respond back to me. And usually when I send him something like, he's like, "Oh, that's bullshit because of this peptide or whatever." This again, nothing to say. I mean, Stephen Meyer. Meyer. Like right now, like folk don't know what to do with that guy. They really don't.
Really?
Yeah, they don't know what to do with him.
Well,
because he's causing some serious problems, and they're not. Folks are not like lining up to debate this dude. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, shout out to everybody. It was a fun song. I loved it. I'm still gonna say Light Bearer is my Biologos, inspiring philosophy, all that stuff. They're good resources if you really want to hear it. Okay. This song has got to get a 10 from me. It's got to get a 10. Look,
10.2.
I would have given it a 10.5, but Mark, you compared them to Light Bearer, and I'm sorry, I think Light Bearer is just still head and shoulders above everybody. Although I will say, you seem to be really enjoying this genre.
I am.
So, anyway, guys, sorry for the long review. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
Oh, wait. The end of the poll.
Oh, the poll.
34% of our audience thought it was decent. 34% loved it. 19% hated it. And 12% thought it was top notch.
19 hated it?
Yep.
That was probably Ben. Ben probably
voted a bunch of times.
Yeah, Ben probably
came in as
gave
Brian
himself
Walker.
18 different words, that evil bastard. We'll try it again. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone. Adam Keene gave it a 6.9.
Did you see this one? Queen Vampire.
Oh, I got it.
She says, "What have I missed? We talking about Satan and Jesus and the Bible, and Ben is stating facts. Actually, now that I think of it, it's just another Vin and Sori stream."
Who said that?
Queen Vampire.
Is that Daniel? Who said that?
No, that's Queen Vampire.
Oh, Queen Vampire. I don't even... Oh, there you go. Daniel always has something fun. Evidence that Christians give is made using your preconceived notion and then is cherry-picked to fit the notion. The proper way is to create a hypothesis and test and come to a consultation. Daniel, who taught you the proper way to come to a conclusion? Daniel, are you... All right. Daniel is my friend. So I'm gonna enjoy my time with Daniel. Daniel, that was precious what you wrote, bro. Really, really precious what you wrote. I'm glad to see you're doing well, though. I'm glad to see you're doing well. We need more young people in the group. Daniel, are you playing? Do you play an instrument, Daniel? Ben goes, on the contrary, I have fun doing the things that you hate. Ben, how come you don't send me any of your originals? Huh? How come none of your originals have been sent to me yet, Ben? You bum. Oh, I see. Later, Orion's Protector. Okay, hold on. I think I need to give somebody... Oh, I need to friend Jambi. I think I think I owe you that, huh, Jambi? Let me see here. Let me try to find you. What do you mean not send you shit? I sent you the entire song. What do you mean?
Honey?
What?
Did you get my message?
Nah, you didn't. What happened? You love me. Okay? I love you too, honey. I do play guitar. Okay. I have no idea what you're talking about, bro. I sent you the song. I sent you the whole thing, top to bottom, exclusive release. Then I gave you very, 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 very specific instruction on how to, do the other thing. But hey. Queen Vampire in the house.
What? Babe, can you send
BC.
that?
BC says, Christianity steals from all the other religions.
You mean like what?
You sent it in MSS and it's compressed as fuck. Okay, I will send it to you in email, you bitch. I can tell already that our band relationship is going to be great and that we are going to mute our bass guitar just like Metallica did, and we're going to have a classic record just like Metallica.
Yeah, Mark, I'm good with that. out during the song. So the poll is going to happen after the song finishes. Then I'll put the poll up.
Okay, so now look. DC says Christianity steals from all other religions. Perk goes, wow. Do you have examples? I guarantee you, they put up the Mithra, Horus, Isis stuff that's been.
Oh no!
Remember the time we had that famous guy on?
Yes.
And I kind of paused and I said don't use that. Don't use that argument. I said don't do that.
Whenever you have those moments.
B wanted to publish it.
Oh yeah.
He's like, no, we're gonna play this guy. We'll show him to be a fraud. I'm like, I'm not gonna bring him onto our show to embarrass it. Because we were nobodies at the time.
Yeah.
We were nobodies. Nobody knew who we were or whatever. This was like years and years ago.
Okay, one question. Are you saying you didn't do it because you didn't want him to be embarrassed? Or are you saying you didn't do it because you didn't want yourself to be embarrassed watching him say that?
Oh, no.
Terrible argument.
I didn't want to embarrass him.
You didn't want to embarrass him?
No.
Oh, that's nice.
No. Because like that whole brand is all, it's just about stunting and mendacity. It's not about like real serious. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he came out and threw all that shit out, and I had to say, ho.
It was like the other one.
I told Brian, it's like, we can't publish that shit, man. Do you think it's possible the Nakash was a rather than a seraphim, the imagery of the dragon in Revelation is rather similar to A&E dragons? Yeah, you brought that up before, and the only thing that's giving me pause is he's called a guardian cherub in, I think it's Isaiah or Ezekiel 14:28. But he is called a dragon. Yeah. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to go into my because I've got a couple memberships at a couple universities digitally, and I'm gonna go in because they literally have like 1 million articles. I'm gonna go and do a deep dive on that and get back to you, Perk, because that's really, really interesting. Okay, here we go, guys. Next song is on the way. Holy schmaloli. This is Sludge Day, I think it is. Is it Sludge? What is it?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Were you talking to Jambi?
No.
Is that what was happening?
No, I was talking to...
I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get matched down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
A little flip there.
Shout out to the big homie Kool-Aid. And shout out to Kool-Aid's grandma. Listen, Kool-Aid, if your grandmother wants a Vin and Sori shirt, She can get one free of charge. Send an email, vinandsori@gmail.com. We'll get your grandmom a shirt, and then if she wears it, then holy moly! If she wears it in a pic, we'll get you a song. How's that? If I see grandma in a Vin and Sori shirt,
yeah, how could we not? How could we not? Okay, so I just need a little clarification because Mark just
we're doing Lacuna Coil Ghost Trail by Cult of Luna.
Oh, because we just did Grown Below. Okay, yep.
Ready?
No, I have to read what he said about it.
Okay,
Cult of Luna Ghost Trail. He said, another golden standard post-metal band, a staple of the genre, and perhaps my favorite band. You've done a song with them before with Julie Christmas a long time ago, and you guys gave it an 11.
Vaguely familiar,
All right.
Yes.
And this is your
that
favorite.
all he said?
That makes me even more interested.
Yeah, I remember the last name, Julie Christmas. I also remember, wasn't that his girlfriend or something like that? Weren't they like together at the time of the song?
Babe,
I'm not sure.
I wouldn't be able to tell you. I don't really know.
Okay.
I wish I could put that
Cult
picture up.
of Luna Ghost Trail. Let's go. I love that
I
shit.
didn't know if it was going to be done or what was happening here. Okay, well, that's...
What happened?
Shoot.
Talk to me.
Well, you know what it was reminding me of? I was trying to search our history, but it appears you watch a lot of stuff on YouTube. We were watching this thing where it was talking about... Okay, the guy, he had a near-death experience. He died.
Was this the one I was listening to last night? Must have been the one I was listening to last night.
It was before the kid that had the sand cave in on him, or maybe it was after. But there was a guy.
The first guy. I know you're talking about.
What happened to him again?
He was swimming. No, they were hiking. It was the Alps or something like that. He was
that's
on a mountain.
right.
He was
Right.
hypothermia.
It was hypothermia, and he didn't listen to his own, like, what he already knew about the stuff. That was pretty freaky when he said, apparently you get to this point when you're having, like, serious hypothermia, where your body begins to just throw out a lot of heat to your extremities to keep, he said, your extremities from falling off. And then he said that when that happened, even though he knew better, he unzipped his jacket.
Yeah, you're about to go.
Yeah. So anyway, when he was talking about it, he said that when he came back and he survived, that it was weird because he sounded like somebody who had been on LSD or something like that. Like,
the guy?
Well, is that the right word, LSD? Which is the one, like, you know, ayahuasca
DMT?
or whatever it is. DMT,
Ayahuasca?
that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he sounded like somebody who'd been on that because he said that he basically came to the realization that there was no such, like, that religion was nothing, basically, but that God was everything. Like, I'm totally botching his words.
Yeah.
But he realized that, like, more like God is not constrained to the box that people try to put him in. But anyway, it was very, very interesting. And it reminded me of this. Beyond time I traveled, no space has bound me. Follow the will I know, the eternal order revealed. Past my dreams, all doubt disappeared. My vision becomes clear. Treachery is the poison and the union is in our blood. Just because in that thing, like when he was talking about it, it was I wanted to post the link here because it's a very interesting thing to watch. But the way that it affected him, because he said that he couldn't even enjoy sunsets and sunrises for over a year.
Yeah, he said he made a mistake.
Yeah, because so apparently when he was on the other side, he had the decision whether he was going to come back or stay there. And he said, I'll go back. But as soon as the words left his mouth, he felt the horror and regret.
Instant regret.
Yes! I was like, I did not like those words, instant regret. And so he, you know, but it was a very interesting...
It was really fucked up, too, because he was like, yeah, you know, I got to get back to my parents and stuff. My parents really need me, yada, yada, yada. So apparently the angel was like, well, we'd like you to... Because usually when you hear those stories, it's not your time, you need to go back.
Right.
But the angel was like, well, I mean, we'd like you to stay, but, I mean, if you really want to go back to your mom, I guess. And the guy's like, yeah, I got to head back to my mom. So they shot him back into his body, and he was like, instant regret.
I can see how horrible that would be. Like, if that's how it went down, like... He said that the one thing that he realized was that everything here is just not real. Like, basically, all of this is just an illusion, and that the real is somewhere else. And
yeah.
Apparently, he suffered with a lot of depression since then because
he did. He
poor man, he should have stayed. But anyway, so that reminded me because it was talking, you know, like the time travel not being bound by stuff, and vision becoming clear, stuff like that.
The eternal order revealed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then right here at the end, the king with beak and talons, in the form of a man, nothing escapes those eyes. He sees everything. In that part, it was like, because it's when he talked about this light. A lot of times they talk about light that speaks. Like that the light doesn't like talk, but it speaks.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to explain that. It actually makes complete sense when I say it, but then when I hear myself saying it, I'm like, well, that doesn't make any damn sense.
Yeah, the light was saying, I'm going to take you now. Because he was dying and
he felt like this unbelievable love.
He had this, he got tunnel vision, which is what happens when you black out, and then the tunnel expanded, and then there was this thing of light that hit him and was also talking to him and all, and took him out. Yeah.
But the way that he explained that once he got there, he remembered all the places that he had ever been and where he came from and everything. Like, all of a sudden, everything just began to make sense. And it seemed to me like it was, he found that eternal love that he had been wanting. That eternal love filled him, and that it was something that brought him all the way back and into the future, and it like completed him.
Yeah.
And it had been, he said, he talked about how it had been loving him and stuff like that. But he had abandoned all religion, and so you thought that he had abandoned all ideas of God, but he was speaking about this as though it were a God.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating.
Yeah, it was.
If I had the link, I'd post it for you guys.
Yeah,
I just don't have it.
Past my dreams, all doubt disappeared. My vision became clear. Treachery is the poison. The union is in our blood. It looks like he's having some sort of, I don't know if he did it to himself and now he's having this experience, but he's talking about going past his dreams and all doubt disappearing, which is a very interesting way to talk about your consciousness.
I like that. Past my dreams, all doubt disappeared. Because a lot of times you have a dream and you doubt yourself, or you doubt that you can get there, or you doubt that you're going to have whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
But he's saying he got to the point where he was beyond his own dreams. And he
right, we're talking about a guy who's had a near-death experience, and we're going back and forth with the lyrics in case you're lost. But yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you for sure. But you know, Lisa a couple days ago, she's having this recurring dream for 10 years.
I have so many.
And I said, send it to me, you know, whatever. And then somebody goes, oh, your dreams are just your subconscious trying to tell you a message, whatever. And he said it with so much confidence. And I just chuckled to myself. Because I was like, well, if you're right, then I feel like a lot of the stuff that, like, amazing, crazy stuff, the stuff of, like, fantasy, now, I feel like it's all in front of us. And it's like, it's so in front of us that we don't, it's so in our face that we don't see it. So one example would be this idea that your dreams are simply your subconscious trying to tell you something. Do you understand what the fuck you just said?
I know.
Your dreams are your subconscious trying to tell you something. So your subconscious is an independent agent that sits back and says, I want to tell Soraya something, but I can't because this guy, who we'll call consciousness, is going to stop the message. So now we've got two independent agents, your consciousness and your subconscious. Your subconscious is trying to tell you something, but then your consciousness is fighting it. What the fuck are you doing? You're just this passive, you know, observer or participant. It's very, very, like, and we say this stuff and we just say it. It's like, and we don't think through what we're actually saying, because what we're saying is incredible. It's incredible. And so, like, a lot of this shit is, like, right in front of us. And we repeat this stuff over and over again, and we're not thinking through the ramifications of what that means. What do you mean it's your subconscious trying to tell you something?
I was telling Vinny the other day, I'm like, so a lot of times what happens, I wake up a lot because I hear different things, like kids bumping around or whatever. And so I'm like, I was in a really good dream, and I wanted to know how that dream was going to turn out. And so I was trying to get back to sleep, to get back into the dream, to finish it. And I said, that's insane. That means that there's a part of my mind that's telling a story that the other part of my mind doesn't know the ending of. And so my one mind wants to know what the other mind is concocting in there.
Yeah.
I was able to get back into the dream, and I was able to go back to it. I actually woke up 3 times before I made it to the end of that dream. And I was able to go back to it all 3 times.
Yeah,
it's pretty weird. I don't usually get back to the same dreams.
I wish you could have like a week with Jordan Peterson.
Me
because
too.
I think you'd be.
Me too.
Yeah, but I just thought it, the first time I really thought that through, I was like, this is some amazing shit, and then it becomes terrifying.
Wow.
Because it's like, I've got this independent consciousness that's somehow related to me, that has a mind of its own, strategizes, waits for the other part of me to go to sleep so that it can then go and preach its gospel. waits for me to be in an unguarded state like sleep, so then it can take over. And then when you're asleep, most of us don't know that we're dreaming. Mm-hmm. So this is ridiculous. There's a movie in your head that you're a part of.
Yeah.
That you wake up from and you say, "Oh, that wasn't the real world." Real. Like it's mind-boggling.
The other thing too is if your subconscious is trying to tell you something, I find it very cute that when you fall asleep, you don't have like a conversation with some figure. You see a story.
Right.
And that's like in our entire history of all of us it dates back to stories, and that's how information was passed, and that's how wisdom was passed. And there's so much about stories, and all of us dream in stories.
Yeah, and it's a strange. You had the Yanny Laurel thing, right? Some people are hearing Yanny, some people are hearing Laurel. You have the dress thing, and it's like all these layers of perception and what we call reality. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and then when you really listen to what the quantum physicists have been saying, when Hoffman says that space-time is dead, and apparently that's it's been dead for quite some space and time, like as we see it. Apparently, the majority report is none of them believe that what we see is what's actually there. So, like, it's just the more and more.
That's comforting. It made me feel like I fell into a black hole.
Yeah, the more you read stuff, the more you're like, what the fuck? So I'm looking at these lyrics. He's talking about like going past his dreams and all that. Like, that's significant, man. Mm-hmm. And then the next question is like the concept of language. Yeah. Somebody found a way to harmonize the physical and the metaphysical world. There was a person. That's another thing for me with God, where I'm just like, there has to be a God, because even the concept of language itself, right? It's not that, look, modifying a language like, hey, we're all from here, we speak the same dialect, and so over time it's gonna. But the entire concept of a person saying, I have all these pictures in my mind about what I want to happen into the real world. So I'm going to start uttering syllables in a certain kind of order. And then you are going to be able to see in your mind the picture I had in my mind. And then we can then draw that out and manifest it in the real world. What? We just
that is crazy.
We just randomly decided to do that. We just and look, pink cow. I just controlled your mind. Right now, you have a pink cow in your head and you can't get it out. And somebody who's much less intelligent than us, right? Because we're going with certain assumptions. So this is just some ridiculous caveman who's whatever. He came up with that's probably the I always say the wheel is the greatest invention. Yeah. Okay, speech itself is above the wheel.
Yeah, but I don't believe we invented speech.
I don't either. I don't believe we invented speech. Jesus is the word. I'm saying, like, this is what I mean. This is basic shit that was in front of us the entire time. All you have to do is sit and think. This weird-ass caveman sat back and came up with that. As he was trying to escape from the wildebeest and all this other shit, he came up with a concept like that. Okay.
Well...
Okay. I mean,
I know. You might want to rethink that one. Cheers to you.
I just think the answers that a lot of us are looking for are right in front of us. To me, it's impossible that some caveman sat on a rock and put that together. That's impossible to me. It's almost, the wheel kind of makes sense because wheels kind of at times occur naturally in nature, but
the other thing, really, you can't really explain all the different languages.
No,
it becomes crazy at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you have so many different languages. There's all these tribes, and I don't know how many different languages are. I used to keep caught up with that because, I was trying to track when God was going to come back and take everybody, but. Let's not go down that rabbit trail.
Yeah.
And there's so many different languages. It's unbelievable.
Look, Andre goes, it's called communication. I understand it's called communication. You know what's communication? Is you and I right now talking on the internet.
Yeah.
Somebody came up with that idea, right? So I understand the category of the phenomena is called the category of communication. The question is, how did we figure out how to do that? because that does not happen naturally in the animal world. Dolphins send signals to each other or whatever. Birds don't really sing. They're just signals.
Even in that sense, when you talk about like dolphins or animals that kind of herd, you don't have the different sound. As far as I know, they don't sound different in Africa than they do in the other place over there, where we have so many different languages. It simply doesn't make sense that we would say, you know what? Why should we have one language? Let's create more and more.
Yeah.
Like with all of the things that people have to deal with, why would we just stick to one language? It makes much more sense.
Insane.
Unless the biblical narrative is true.
It
was forced upon us.
Yeah, and look, even if you don't want to believe the Bible, that's fine. But something else is happening with us. Something is happening with us and with consciousness that is, and you do well to try to figure that shit out, man, or at least try to find a worldview that accounts for all of this amazing shit that we deal with, that we deal with every day. You have a movie in your head every day that you did not write that has a beginning, middle, and end, and it just plays in your head, and it's just normal. But if you lived in a world where nobody ever dreamed, they would laugh at you. They would say that you're full of shit. That's the thing that's like so amazing to me about the arrogance and the hubris of human, especially modern human beings. We're so well, they didn't have a computer. What do they know? They don't have Google.
Right.
They're not as smart as us.
The other thing too that you have to consider is shoot, my whoop, it just went. You were just saying it went. Forget about it.
Look at Ben. Look at Ben. It's surreal watching two grown adults act like animals don't have different kinds of chattering. Ben, there's a difference between chattering, okay, and Romeo and Juliet. That's
and the other thing is we're all human beings. We're not saying
Ben.
that lions can talk to elephants or that elephants can talk to dolphins. The dolphins all, to my knowledge, all the dolphins kind of speak the same dialect of whatever. There's not like a different. Where human beings, we have so many different languages that if you look at the struggle that there was from the beginning, like you said, we're getting chased by the wildebeest. It makes no logical sense. Why would you create so many different languages? It doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you go with just the first way of communicating and stick to the same one?
Yep. What do you give the song?
So I am actually giving this one. So this song was funny because in some instances it felt so long.
True.
And then in other instances, so I thought to myself, if I was like in an airport and they said you have to listen to this whole song before you can see Vinny, and it'd been like 3 months since I've seen him, this song would be friggin' torture. It's not sucking me in. It's not doing anything. But if I say I am trapped in a jail and I have this music, then I would listen to the music and I would love the length of it, and I wouldn't even feel the length of it because I can't go anywhere. Anyway, so keeping those two things in mind, I still very much like the song, but I don't like it when a song makes me say, this might be a little long. I feel like that's a bad sign for me. So I'm going to have to like pull it down a little bit on the ratings due to that fact. So 8.2 for me.
I think you're completely crazy. And I think this song is especially the end. It was a very, very unique song. A little bit on the long side. I did feel the length, which usually gets a demerit for me. And it's going to. But it made up for the demerit due to the way that it finished. It finished very, 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 very strong. Very strong.
I forgot how heavy it got at the end.
And guys, we're not asking about
8.7.
the evolution of the English language or any other language. We're talking about the concept of language itself.
Right.
Which is probably the most brilliant invention ever in human history. And if the majority report is true, our ancestors were just dumb cavemen and women just eking out survival. How the fuck did we come up with something that complex? That's the question. Okay.
So you didn't rate it?
I'm gonna give this song a 9.5. That outro was insane. I would have given it a 10.5. It was probably a minute and 14 seconds too long. But that outro really, 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 really made up for it, and it's another gonna steal. I think I just disconnected all this shit. Look at that.
Oh, but that's okay. The
Yeah.
internet didn't get pulled out, so.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. Good.
What's that?
There you are. It's
light?
it's another thingamajiggy.
Looks like just a light. Okay.
There you are,
anyway.
dear listener. Vin out.
Sorry, out.
Gone.
Oh, shoot. I keep forgetting to end the poll before the thing.
What was the poll?
So,
Doom, doom, doom. I can't get that like outro out of my head. That
so
shit
the
was
poll
crazy.
was 50% loved it, 29% thought it was decent, 16% thought it was top notch, and 4% hated it.
What's next? Are we doing Amen Ra next or Abraham?
Okay, so Cult of Luna Ghost Trail.
Amen Ra?
So, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Children of the Eye.
Amen Ra, Children of the Eye. See, it's the Eye of Horus, probably. It's Egypt Day on the Vin and Sori channel. Okay, guys, stand by. Amen Ra is coming up, you losers. What did she say? They're losers.
They're losers.
Losers.
You're a loser.
I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get matched down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull
You
that off.
can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee
Can't
a
guarantee
positive
you
review.
A positive review.
Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch. Someone goes to jump.
Buy merch indeed.
Hello.
Shall lead
We
them.
were just talking about cult leaders.
Yeah, that's what we about.
But don't you kind
Y'all
of
didn't know that I was a cult leader in my past life.
Everybody calls you a cult leader. Honey, don't you think that, I mean, people are grown people. Like, how are you going to put somebody in jail for people following stupidity?
Yeah, but...
I mean, you did it. You went with it. You're both consenting adults. That can't be right. Buy it now! Okay.
Holy shit. That can't be right.
It can't. There's some sort of mistake. Seriously, we should just... If there was a buy it now option.
I know.
On Amazon.
Buy that shit right now, like 250,000.
Yeah, but you know what happened one time? We went on a vacation and my parents were like, oh, we're going to go to, I think it was Christmas, Florida or something like that. And it was supposed to be unbelievable. And we got there and it was just...
Okay, it looks like there's a
disaster.
$50,000 membership that you pay one time. And then...
So that's worth it all day long.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, babe, we're in the middle of a DJ stream.
Yeah, it just popped on my phone.
I know.
All right, well, there you go.
ADD's kicking in now.
I'll join your
Chill.
cult, the cult of metal.
Yeah. Okay.
There is a cult shirt coming out pretty soon. I have
Join
a
the
cult.
cult.
I haven't even told Soraya about it yet. But it's coming.
Of course,
Okay.
I don't know why you would, since I've
This
got
is
two shirts I
Amen
still
Ra,
have to make.
Children of the Eye.
Okay, so Children of the Eye, a vocal style that is quite different from the rest and also very drony music, but still a post-metal band.
Okay. So right, looking at post metal, And so far, Sori's been in love with post metal. I love post metal too. I don't know if it's going to defeat black metal, but we still got a couple more songs to go, so we shall see. Children of the Eye, let's go. Where's my lyrics? I got lyrics right here, babe. Boom. He warned us about the singing, the vocal style. He's like, the vocal style is an acquired taste, he said.
Oh yeah, I know. I hated it at first.
Yeah,
it was like really, really, really low. Okay, so
I'd have a big problem with it if I didn't have the lyrics here. Even though I will say though, even though I had the lyrics there, it was still kind of difficult to follow the homie. I'm not gonna lie. But go ahead. What were you saying?
So I do this thing where if I really hate the song, I turn it down because I can't have that much thing that I hate in my ears for that extended period.
Whoa.
So I turned it down. And then as the song progressed...
Tell us how you really feel, Soraya.
I tweaked it up a little bit more. By the end, it was all the way up to full blast. Yeah, so I came around.
It's funny to me that you don't see the pattern. The pattern with these bands is it's the build-up stuff, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're building up. So
yeah, but his voice at the very beginning, I'm like, nah.
No.
No. That's a 3 for me. But then as it progressed, it was changing. And then obviously the lyrics, when I was reading the lyrics, I'm like, woo.
What about him?
Oh, I just, like the way that it was saying, I am the cold, the barren tree, reside in me. I am the fire no one can oversee. Not unto me, truth, fire, one tear at a time. You are a threat to mine. Flood trenches, dread road, like wash away my longing for me to be the last. Like that sort of writing style, I write like that sometimes. So when
you do.
It was going into there, I was like, okay, yeah. And I'm not sure, like, and obviously, like, it started painting a picture, so no one will ever leave me behind. I cast no shadow. Light is too profound. That's pretty crazy. I am the way all stars align, a new reign uncrowned, with wounds Okay, so I actually didn't see that part. I just saw the part where, shaved for burial, soul lost inside. Anoint my skin, nothing to hide. I take the first step in the funeral pyre, a truth fire upon me. So that resigned in me, and then it goes into that part. And I thought, like when we were watching Vikings, and they would sacrifice people to the gods, and it was pretty gruesome, not gonna lie. So when that sort of thing was happening, like the person doesn't look like they're at peace with it. It looks like they're going along with it because they almost have no choice.
Right, like that girl on Vikings, she had no choice.
Right. But in this, it sounded like the person was confident about what they were doing and where they were going. And I always, You
always what?
Well, I'm debating.
Oh, I see.
Where I want to go with that. Because I always thought that was like, I suppose like, the best way to die, not by sacrifice, but that is a pretty unbelievable thing. The best way to die? What do you mean? The best way to die in the sense of, like, when you come to the end, and like, it doesn't matter what your end is. Let's say it's your last moments and you had an accident, a car accident, or you got cancer, or whatever happened. Like, I'm not saying by like killing your own self. That's excluded from this conversation. I'm saying as life takes you.
Good to know.
Life takes
You're
you.
not telling us to kill ourselves.
No, as life takes you, that you would be at the point where you would say, when Jesus was at the end of his life, he said, "It is finished." You know what I mean? Like there was this sort of like it's done. Like he accomplished what he came to accomplish. It's fulfilled. It's done. And like that would be. I feel like that's the best sort of end, is that when you hit the end, you're not clawing for the surface again, but you're saying to yourself, you know what? It's time.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
That's like we just got done listening to that story with Sammy the Bull.
Yeah. Oh, God, I hated that. Was a sad one.
I promise you in the next 6 months, I'll probably get an interview with the homie. But,
oh, that would be unbelievable.
He was talking about, Sammy the Bull was a hitman for the Mafia. And for the Gambino family, and all the other mob bosses, they beef with each other at time to time, but they have this thing called the commission. It's where all the mob bosses get together and discuss something. So anyway, they decided that this guy Johnny Keys had to go. He had to die because he was too much of a gangster. And so Sammy the Bull comes up with this amazingly intricate I mean, the guy should have been in the age. I have no, like, it's one of those situations, man. Like, we worked with them in World War II. You know what I'm saying? Like, mobsters were doing shit on the docks in World War II for us. So, but anyway, like, he had to kill this guy, and so he. Anyway, long story short, they capture the guy. And the guy's got to stay there for basically 13 hours while he gets the word. And then he finally gets the word it's time to kill him. And he goes, sorry, man, the vote didn't go your way, so I gotta kill you. And the guy's like, all right, cool. It's just like, it was crazy. Like, he was just, his thing wasn't so much like, his thing was, this is Cosa Nostra. This is how it goes. Mm-hmm. So this is a life that I lived. So he bodied 50 people. So I think we were kind of like trying to figure it out. Like, what's going on with this guy?
Yeah.
And to me, I was like, maybe he's looking at it like as atonement for all the other people he killed. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't kill 50 people and then be like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. That's what you were saying. I was saying, I felt like it was more of a, like, when you think you're the king and then somebody bests you at your own game. That it was like a hat tip to the person.
He wasn't so big in the game, though. He was a small guy.
He was.
He wasn't even at the table for the commission.
But he bested him intellectually and trapped
Sammy?
him. Yes.
Sammy? Oh, yeah.
The way that Sammy...
That was smart. The way he got him, I mean, like I'm saying, that was... But the point is, like, there are some people that just... They're disposed that way, man. They've already made peace with their death and they're going to die. And I think, maybe if you're a priestess or a priest in Egypt, like... I don't know. Maybe they knew that, your last act of devotion is, because that did happen in Egypt where, like, you got buried in the sarcophagus of your...
Right.
If you were his concubine or his wife or whatever.
It's more than that. They would have whole groups of people, so they would be your servants in the next life.
Slaves in the afterlife, yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Imagine how horrible that is. Like, really stop and think about it. These people lived as slaves in their life here, and then, like, most people are like, well, when I die, I'm going to get out of this. But nope, not in Egypt. They're gonna bury you in there, and your next thought is you're gonna be raised just to be another slave.
Facts.
That's so bad. How discouraging.
Well, you had them. I'm not gonna say that. Okay. No one will ever leave me behind. See, I initially thought he was talking actually about the sun, because if you look, I mean, they're called, the name of the band.
Well, he talked about the shadow. I cast no shadow. Light is too profound.
Yeah.
I am the way. All stars align.
We look our gods dead in the eye. See, that again to me is about looking up directly into the sun. See what I'm saying? Shave for burial, so lost inside, anoint my skin, nothing to hide. Yeah, so this is a dude, he's ready to die. I think you're right. Like with Sammy, the big thing was like Cosa Nostra. Like you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta stay true to that shit right up to the point where you're gonna die.
Right.
And I think like there's some people that are devoted that way too, because that's what he's saying, and he's saying he's never going to get left behind. I'm assuming after he completes his sacrifice, he's going to be some sort of spirit that takes you, that protects or whatever. You're never going to be able to get rid of him. Come rain, wash us all away. Here comes the first wave, nothing will remain, because they're just ashes. So the rain is going to come, or the tide is going to come and just sweep them away. So yeah, but
isn't this interesting though that he's going into the fire, but then he's saying that I am the fire, no one can oversee. I know this is not what he's talking about.
Maybe
but it reminds me of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego when they were in the fire.
Right.
And Jesus was walking in the midst of the fire with them.
Yeah. I think maybe it's like because you have done this last act of sacrifice to Ra that you become one with Ra after. Because one of the motifs of the sacrificial system, the reason why you used fire was the idea that it was a way of transferring the sacrifice up to heaven, right? So as the smoke ascends, then the sacrifice is going in the direction of heaven. Yeah. So if you think about it, if he's on a pyre, he's mentioning pyre, that means they set him on fire. So the smoke would be going up towards the sun, in metaphorically saying he has now become one with Ra.
Whoa. Oh.
See what I'm saying?
I do see what
It's
you're
just
saying.
a guess. I
That
don't know.
is interesting, though.
But now he's saying I am the fire no one can oversee. Because now he's completely engulfed in the fire, and then he's going to go up into, the sun, basically, is the idea.
Wow.
And of course, all of our old school, religious teachers would have been like, and he was right, because he was right in the middle of the sun when he died. Right? Because he's in hell, supposedly. Right? So that's what it looks like to me. It's a fascinating thing, the concept of sacrifice.
And
That's
this,
another one of
too.
those crazy human ideas that...
This sounds like
Go ahead.
the flood.
Well, when he says, come rain,
Where he
wash
says,
us all.
one tear at a time, you are a threat to mine. Flood trenches, drench remnants of my past. Wash away my longing, for me to be the last. Come, rain, wash us all away. Here come the first wave. Nothing will remain forevermore, no more.
Yeah, I think he's talking about him and the other guys. After the fire is done, they're just going to be ash. So when the rain and the floods come, they're going to get swept away. And there's going to be no trace that they even existed.
But I thought you said you went...
Well, metaphorically, they're being set on fire, so the smoke is ascending up to the heavens.
Oh, you're saying just the metaphor. Oh, I thought you meant...
I'm saying that's
in
probably...
their story that maybe that was how it would go, that you would ascend like that.
Right. But,
So if you ascended like that, how would the rains affect you?
well, your soul would ascend, right?
Oh, you think in the bodily form?
Your
is what
soul
they're
would
talking
ascend,
about?
but then the ashes and what remains gets washed away by the water.
Okay.
That's what it looks like to me. What did you get the song?
For me to be the last. Oh, boy. This one was the one that started out. And then it kept progressing. You go.
Well, I'm sorry.
You go first.
Yeah, and I, you make adjustments via genre, right? So you're talking about, old school first generation black metal is going to be bad production, and so your mind already goes to it. I think with this genre, there's always going to be long, and there's going to be a long buildup. And some of the times they hit the nail perfect on the head. Other times you're like, it could have been a minute and a half shorter.
I think that this one was...
To me,
all
almost.
the other ones were so beautiful that this one shocked me because it was ugly at the beginning, in my opinion.
Well, it's interesting too because he warned us. He said, "Listen, the vocalist is an acquired taste." And
All right.
I agree with that. I think that hurt it a little bit, just because you really, really could not understand. Even when I was following along, I'm like, okay, I guess that word is that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure. Go ahead. What'd you give it?
No, I told you go first.
I'm going to give this song a solid 8.6.
8.2.
8.2. There you are, dear listener. If you're a cornball and you're in regular YouTube land, then you're going to have to check us out at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time mañana. But if you are in the stream, like a good American,
Then hold on. We're coming back.
stand by. We've got another song on the way. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Down.
Oh, I have to end the poll. The freaking poll.
I almost hit finish.
Okay, we still... Oh, really? That would have really been annoying,
That
to
would
be
have
honest
sucked
with you.
so bad. We got one more
Yeah.
joy for you guys.
Oh, did I not put the poll? I didn't even put the
You
poll.
didn't even put the poll, and Middle
Okay.
Earth is probably gone to bed like a smart person instead of staying up like us, like dumb people. Abraham Carcasses, guys. That's the next song. Commercial on the way.
What
Is
is
the big
that?
homie still here?
Is that for the next song?
No, that was me not. Boop. Good catch. Good catch, Soraya. I give this song a solid 69 again. What's his face keeps rating on the songs is 6 and 9. Alrighty then. All right, guys. Talk to the people.
Vin promised something about Imagine a few streams ago.
Yeah, I was gonna get that. Yo, once I get that that locked down, bro, we good.
Okay, so the next song on our list...
There it is. Abraham Carcasses. I was trying to find. I was like, yo, where the hell is that song? All right, guys. Commercial break. Abraham Carcasses coming up next. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get matched down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at villageXchange@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull
You
that off.
can also jump on Patreon on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee, a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
And the child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Buy our merch.
All right, we are sadly on the last song of our DJ stream, but that still means we're at the beginning of a song, so we still have plenty of time.
Yes.
This song is called, well, it's by
Shout
the
out to
band
BC. Shout out to BC.
Abraham,
Okay.
and the name of the song is Carcasses. Our
This should
DJ
be-
tonight is DJ Mark. You can see that down at the bottom. He has a Cult of Luna symbol here.
Yes. Yes.
So this
Stay
song,
on the lookout
he
for
said,
Vin and Sori cult shirts.
best vocal growl ever. Another underground post-metal band. What is there to say? I absolutely love these guys. Post-metal leaning towards doom in many ways.
Oh, okay. See, the thing, this dude's a technician, bro. Like, he knows his shit. Oh,
Yeah, well,
like-
I think he designs websites or does like the back end stuff on website designing or something like that.
okay, well,
so
that-
like, no, I don't
that-
think it was website designing. It kind of sounded like it was like the, you know, how there's like the pretty part of a website and then there's the practical part of the website. It sounds like he's on the practical,
Oh, okay.
from what I understood, but maybe I'm wrong. You remember what I'm saying? Remember we did this before when we had a designer?
Yes.
It doesn't. You have to have the brains behind the operation.
That a ghost would be.
What is Amy Lee? She's both,
He's a web dev.
right?
Amy. Yeah.
Right, you're the developer, so that was right. I said that. I said that you were behind the scenes.
All right, guys, you
Smart
ready?
guy behind it.
Carcasses, Abraham, let's go. that's an interesting.
They even have build downs.
Build downs.
Yeah.
Okay. That's right. You build up and then you build down.
Yeah,
Oh,
this was interesting. Where's the? Let me pull up the lyrics.
I got them right here.
Okay, this one was interesting because it was kind of gross to me, some of the stuff that they were saying. Like,
Go ahead.
oh, come carcasses make my body swing. Ooh, that kind of made me feel sick in my stomach.
Where did it say that?
The end, right before it starts saying words that we don't even know what it meant.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was whores. Okay.
Come.
Well, I didn't
No, it
know.
says, "Come here,
Mine
whores.
just
Oh,
said
come
this.
carcasses, make my body swing."
Yeah. Ugh. So that part was a little bit yucky to me, or as the kids say, yucky. But it was very. He's right. He said it was doomy, and what was the other word that Mark used?
I'm not sure.
Mark, you used 2 words. You were in the comment section. You used 2 words for it. And it was dead on. I thought it did have like a doomy sort of sound to it. I thought that they captured that really well. Probably not my, it would definitely not be my go-to. Certainly not. I think, okay, so when I'm sad, sometimes I listen to sad music. But if I was feeling doomy, I don't think I would listen to doom music. It might push me right over the edge.
Yeah, it depends on what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because I think that sometimes it's a very positive
dark
thing to
was
cry.
the other word he uses. Dark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Dark and doomy. I think that's a perfect explanation of this type of music. But a little unsure of the lyrics.
Yeah, and I wear Ahead of Me, which is...
You know what that reminded me of? You know they have those shrunken heads?
Yeah.
That's all I could think of. But if there was a shrunken head, it couldn't be your own.
I think what he's saying is, he's almost wearing a mask. Because...
Ooh!
the head... the head area, that's how you determine a lot of people's identity.
Holy shit.
Their
Look,
physical features.
Yeah, he
their
said
eyes.
changing faces, changing wings, changing skin behind the mask.
Right.
Because usually people say you just keep changing the mask, but he's saying, look, I put one thing in front and I'm constantly
Right.
flipping behind
'Cause
that.
his mask
That's
is his head.
crazy.
His mask is his head, so, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, look, I'm a bird of prey. I could be a dove, or a deer,
Right.
or a corpus of vultures encircling the yellow skies.
But then he says, here they come for
Right.
me.
He's saying I could
So
be
he
that,
said he could be the vultures, but at the same time the vultures
but
are coming from him.
he's not that. But he's saying, I think a dove or a deer, which is really interesting because he said bird of prey, and a deer is not a bird. But dove and deers, they kind of have a reputation for being fragile and soft and always afraid of conflict.
Yeah, they're not
Right.
chasing after. They're not predators.
Right. So, but then he says, I could be that, or I could be a vulture, which is exactly what Sammy did, right? He came in there like he was just some punk, kid, whatever, and he had to let us know that, hey, he pushed me twice, but that's because the situation had to go that way. And then he had that other switch and he turned it.
That part was funny
Cold Killer.
because when he said that, he truly looked like he was offended. But he knew what the end of the story was.
Correct.
He knew how it was gonna go.
Correct.
So when I looked backwards at the story, I didn't understand the still raw feeling of that moment when you know where it's gonna go.
He's still Cosa Nostra. So he
Yeah.
Niggas will never tell the man that I was pussy unless you got a gun and I don't got one. I might let you push me. So I think he's saying I'm people perceive me as a soft, fragile, fearful person because of deer, deer in headlights. But, I could be that, or I could just really be a vulture. And then he says, I'm a better place for you. I'm a better place. My sweet, my brave, my servants, annoying bugs on the floor, faces in the wall, they speak to me. Come, I'll tread on you. May the pest fall onto you. And then he talks about come here, whores, and let the scepter reign, blah, blah, blah. So I just think that's
what about the bodies?
do you mean?
Carcasses, swaying? What are they talking about?
Well, I think that's his view on humanity, that people are just walking carcasses because you're eventually going to die anyway. So you're just really a walking carcass for now.
Okay, that's not...
How did you interpret it?
Oh, I could only see people hanging from trees when I saw the part. I don't hate to say that because I don't know who's listening, but that's all I could think of. And then when he's saying "make my body swing," it just was to me like sometimes he's the prey, sometimes you know what I mean. Like sometimes he's and so
he seems to be phasing out.
He seems like he's having a difficult
back
time
and forth from being a predator and prey. It looks like that's the real issue that he's having there. He could be both, and I think that's really interesting because being able to have that switch and not having to use it or not using it, I think, is the ultimate strength. That's my opinion anyway.
No, I would agree with that. I think, like, sometimes you get so much... Like, I was at a point in my life where I had so much self-control in certain areas that it was as though it took no control at all to accomplish what I needed to accomplish.
Yeah.
Now it's like a full-time job, you know?
Yeah, I got a full-time job too. It's getting hard not to. It's like a full-time job not to.
But you know what I'm saying? So I think that, you know, sometimes this kind of reminded me, especially as we're talking about it, it reminds me of the shadow self or your dark side or your demon side or your, you know what I mean? Like whatever you want to call it, your flesh versus your spirit. You know, we all have that. And like sometimes I find the concept truly troubling. And I know that you don't. It seems as though you've accepted yourself.
Concept?
The concept that you have this other side of you that could be irrational, that is capable of great and terrible evils, while at the same time, like, I think that this channel is an amazing thing. I think that what we've all done here is mind-blowing. You know, we just had that message from, you know, Tony, and he was saying that it's really helped him out, you know, with his cancer treatments and stuff. Just watching the channel, and you know, we've had lots of different emails. Like, there's almost every single time that I go on to read my emails and to go on to Patreon, I end up crying. Almost every day. There's something that somebody sends that's just, it's so honest and so rare in a world where everything has to be packaged in such a way that it can be palatable by the masses. And then sometimes people sit down and they write from their heart and they say something from inside, and you realize that you were a part of what inspired those words or inspired that good in someone else. And it's really amazing because, you know, if you just looked at our channel, you'd be like, oh, like, these are such amazing, people say it, you know, you guys are such amazing people, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, yeah, you don't know me. You don't know him. You know what I mean? Like, we're regular people, just like everybody. We just happen to have this amazing opportunity to do this channel. And it just so happens that my personality and your personality mix in such a way that it makes for a good time for us and for everybody else. But, like, when I see that, like, it's just... The shadow self troubles me because the more that I face my own shadow self, the more I realize how much order and chaos I am truly capable of.
Good way to look at it. Really good way to look at it, for sure.
And I know that we're all like that. And then, you know, you see, like, when we're listening to this Sammy the Bull stuff, and he's doing terrible things, killing people, you know? And then there are other times where you just see, like, how human he is and how sweet he can be and how special he can be, you know what I mean? But then you're like, yeah, but you're the guy that, you know, or when he tells a story and somebody gets killed in the story, like, you feel bad, and then you're like, you have to keep reminding yourself, like, that guy killed 50 people. But then you know what I'm saying? Like, just the idea that we're all capable of so much good and evil simultaneously, and something as ridiculous as a poorly made sandwich can flip us.
Yes.
It's like, really?
Yeah.
But we are. I mean, it's... I don't know.
Yeah. It's just, come here. Or, you know, that to me, let's put this in a groupie context, right? Like, this is something that a lot of I'm not going to do that. What I will say is, when you're a man in that type of situation.
Oh, so he's calling them the Carcasses?
Right.
Okay, I just realized that
They're not
in
really
this
worth.
moment.
They're not worth very much to him.
And that's why he's saying, "Come make my body." Holy moly!
Yeah, I think there's a double entendre there. Yeah. Come down from your holiest, blah blah blah. So like, it's obvious he's got massive resentment issues with women for sure.
What, my scepter fiercely reign over you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really interesting because I wanted to see how this genre does anger.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it's been thematic and, otherworldly or religious. Like, what about just like straight up you're angry, like metal? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what's interesting is how much you this is so weird, but okay. So if you have an understanding that you have value and that you're really worth something, and you walk around with that understanding, but a deep belief in that, and a deep sort of belief in what you believe. So you're kind of like a solid person. You're going to get treated differently than the person that walks around and disrespects their own self. So here you have these girls like, I'm not trying to trash on them, but the fact that they're willing to just go with somebody because they're in a band or because, you know what I mean? Like, you should have more respect for yourself than that to say, okay, this person's only here to use me and I'm not going to be part of that.
See, that's a big thing is like all this body positivity, sex positivity, and guys are like, yeah, that's right. Because we know that it's going to benefit us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, of course. Joke's on you.
Well, but just, and I guess where I was going with that is just, I think that it's very important. Obviously, in our worldview, it's very convenient because God says that everybody that was made in the image and likeness of God. And so we all have value just based on the fact that we were born. We all have value because we were made in the image and likeness of God. It is interesting. I'm just going to throw this out there. This is going to be totally like, people are going to disqualify everything because I said this. But let's just say there really are other planets and there really are other living beings on other planets. Like, you know how the people will say, well, if everybody's special, then nobody's special. Mm-hmm. But we don't even know what else is out there that could qualify us as being extremely special, like made in the image of likeness of God.
True.
We don't know.
True.
And so, but anyway, like it's just exciting to think about. And I think that it's very, very important for everybody to cultivate a good and a healthy respect for yourself and an understanding of yourself. And by respect for yourself, I think, not to treat yourself like the dirt of the earth, but to know who you are and to know that what you're made of. But on the flip side of that is to know what you're capable of for good or for evil. And
yeah,
I'm still on the journey of looking myself in the face to be 1000%. That is something that's extremely difficult. There's some things that will make me extremely angry, and I think to myself, well, I could be completely irrational right now, but I'm going to pull it together and not. But I don't know. The song kind of is a little troubling there at the end because of the way that he's talking about other people.
But it's raw.
It is.
It's raw, and that's how he feels.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of those, I don't know how much women really know that, but
well,
there is
he's making this song to women who listen to his music that then want to go do this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how much more warning do you want?
Crazy.
This is simply unwise.
What'd you give this?
That's some next level
Facts. What do you give the song, you dumb butt?
You go first.
This song to me, I love the fact that this was a kind of a combination because, like I said, you don't really hear straight up, I'm angry, I'm hurt. It was still, especially at the beginning, you scroll up at the beginning real quick of the lyrics.
Mm-hmm. I am at the beginning.
Yeah, like starting off strong with and I we're ahead of me and all that. I got to give it a solid 9.3.
Okay, so it wouldn't have been a 9.3 for me, like musically, it would have been like an 8.7, but lyrically, I think, it took it up to it. I'll go with the 9.3.
Okay. Well, there you are, dear listener. The moral of the story is don't call girls whores. Then out.
And don't let yourself do things that could let you be called that. Sorry, out. In other words, don't go in with these groupies. Like, don't be a part of this.
I hear you. Good thing Jen's not in the room. You'd have been assassinated.
Why? I don't think so. I mean, yeah, she can assassinate me if she wants, but
right, let's talk about
you have to
something
have
else.
some respect for yourself.
Let's talk about something else. It might get back to her band, you know. Like, I don't know. Well,
I don't think she would disagree with me. I'll message her right now.
She would absolutely disagree with you. We've just reached the end, my friends. Shout out to the big homie. The big homie.
Mark. You gonna put that on?
Thank you guys for the back and forth with the internet dropping. You guys stay true to the game, so thank you very much for that.
Thanks for being patient with us, Mark. I know that.
Shout out to freaking DJ Mark, bro. We really appreciate you, my guy. Till next time. Okay. Nope, they're not better than Binger Bear or whatever. They would have had to be. They would have had to be porn level because I really like that band. Some of these
were very, very good, but yeah.
But what I noticed about the song selection here is there were a couple things I hadn't heard before. Like there was one song, it was like the fourth or fifth song.
The Ocean one.
I don't know if it's the Ocean one.
Okay, Divine Mother. Isis Divine Mother was first. The Ocean.
The rising tempo at the end. They just did the same riff, and then it was slow, and for like 2 minutes, the only variation was the tempo. I thought that was brilliant. I'd never heard something like that before.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are doing stuff that, I'm assuming the prog guys, if we listen to enough prog guys, I'd have the same thing. But
I definitely am. So the question was, does prog, he said, does prog beat out death metal or black metal?
Yeah.
For me, it does. It's really almost not even a question.
You're not a fan of black metal.
Yeah, black metal has to win me over every time.
Yeah, Cult of Luna was the song. Cult of Luna was my favorite record in the night because that thing, I never heard it before, and I'm like, I have got to steal that. And like, if I wrote a riff like that, honestly, I would have put it in the middle. Mm-hmm. And then, verse chorused out of it. But they went and did something different, and it worked like a charm. So there you are, dear listener.
All right, all our friends, thank you for hanging out with us, and we're going to be back tomorrow with another stream, so.
Vin out.
Sorry, out.
Gone.